fashion, publikasi ataupun event, dan kita akan go internasional dengan produk-produk yang kita miliki saat ini. Dan juga Noesa juga akan terus memperkenalkan kebudayaan Indonesia, gak hanya tenun, ke kalian semuanya, di Indonesia ataupun untuk ke luar negeri. Karena dengan itu kebudayaan akan tetap terus berlanjut.
Frictions heating up in the Korean Peninsula, and we have your daily dose of general election update on Indonesia Votes 2024 coming right up on the 3-hour news show on C Today. Welcome to our viewers in Indonesia across the world. Thank you for joining us, where for the next 3 hours we'll bring you the latest from Indonesia, Southeast Asia, and around the world. I'm your host for today, Kai Surya, and with me are Aris Satya and Maria Harfanti. The ladies today with a touch of Indonesian accessory.
Yeah,
Very
you're
nice.
looking
Good
good, Kai, with that.
afternoon.
It's looking good. It really good details.
And look at her earrings.
Look at the earrings.
Yeah,
It's called subeng.
I think
Right.
I also need
Subeng
to
earrings.
this accessories. maybe.
I think you need like
Yeah.
this male brooch.
That's-
thing.
Yeah, you need something gold
Yes.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
match
Something
our
gold is
traditional
always good.
accessories.
Yeah, that's good. Maybe we'll try next time. And by the way, I'm Arasate. Welcome to 3-hour news show. Make sure to follow us on X, Instagram, and YouTube at City News for the latest updates. And with us today is, of course, Maria Harwanti for the latest from the business world.
Yes, thank you, Aris. I'm Maria Harfanti. We'll take a look at market and business updates from the country, the region, and elsewhere around the world. But first, let's take a look at what made the top stories for today.
Kim Jong-un warned of war in a speech to a meeting of his country's parliament as relations between North Korea and South Korea are at a new low.
The Association of Indonesia Automotive Sole Agents, Gaikindo, reported a surge in wholesale electric vehicle sales, with nearly 70,000 units sold in 2023.
On sport, the latest in the 2024 Dakar Rally sees Sebastian Loeb clock up his 27th stage win, while Adrian van Beveren secured a similar win in the bike category.
If you are an egg consumer, later on See the Stories will have a discussion on how to raise awareness of cage-free production of eggs. Now, Do you understand the difference between cage-free and cage egg production or farm eggs production?
Cage-free is like ayam kampung in Indonesian, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the chickens are not confined
Yeah.
to a space.
Yeah.
But actually, there has been striking results between farm eggs and cage-free eggs and the usual eggs. So I just actually saw in an Instagram post that was done by a scientist that the egg yolk is much yellower, deep yellow with the cage-free eggs.
Yeah.
They have a different rate of protein, a different rate of omega-3, and omega-2 that doesn't exist in non-cage-free eggs.
Wow.
Okay. That's interesting.
Thank God my kids love cage-free eggs.
Oh, thank God. Well, you know what? My kids don't love eggs, but I do.
But yeah, she loves
Yeah.
another protein.
Yes.
All right, let's move on to another story. It's about an Israeli attack struck a residential house in the Al-Shaburah camp in the southern Gaza city of Rafah, resulting in the tragic loss of the 3 lives, including 2 children.
At least 3 people, including 2 children, were killed after an Israeli strike hit a residential house in the southern Gaza city of Rafah yesterday. A footage captured in Rafah showed scores of injured people rushing to the hospital with medical staff scrambling to treat the wounded.
The incident followed a barrage of at least 25 rockets launched from the Gaza Strip towards southern Israel on Tuesday in Damascus. It marked one of the strongest bombardments from Gaza in over a week. Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant said on Monday that the Israeli army was expanding control from northern Gaza towards other parts of the Strip.
البلد هذه عمري ما عملت لهم حاجة ولا شيء ولا حاجة الحين أنا إيش أسوي؟
Israel have remained relentless as bombardments in the central Gaza Strip destroyed dozens of buildings in the Nusayrat camp in recent weeks.
The Israel army has also expanded operations to the southern area of the enclave.
The humanitarian crisis in Gaza is deteriorating, with 85% of the territory's 2.3 million residents fleeing their homes. UN agency also warned of mass starvation and also disease.
Israel has vowed to crush the military and governance capabilities of Hamas to ensure that the October 7th attack is never repeated. Meanwhile, Palestinian authorities said that over 24,000 lives have been lost in the coastal territory.
Israel has maintained land, sea, and air blockade over Gaza since 2007, a year after Hamas was democratically elected into power. Israel has been accused of using collective punishment for years, leading to the humanitarian crisis in Gaza.
The Palestinian Health Ministry said that mourners gathered on Tuesday for the funeral of 2 Palestinians who were shot dead by Israeli forces near the West Bank city of Hebron the previous day.
The Palestinian Health Ministry reported the deaths of a man aged 22 and a woman aged 23 who were killed by live ammunition during classes in Dura. The Israeli military said that about 100 people threw fire bombs and blocks at troops who fired back. The military said 1 person was killed while others were hit, and that the incident was under review.
The West Bank has experienced an escalation in violence since October the 7th. The ministry says Israeli forces have killed around 350 Palestinians there since the conflict started.
Most have been killed in confrontations with Israeli forces during arrests, raids, or violent protests. And Palestinians from the West Bank have also carried out attacks against Israelis during that time.
بالأمس اقتحمت مدينة دورة قوة كبيرة من جيش الاحتلال وقامت بإطلاق النار بشكل عشوائي على كل أهالي المدينة وعلى المحلات وعلى المنازل. وهذه الحكومة الإسرائيلية الفاشية النازية التي تستهدف كل الشعب الفلسطيني، وكان هدفهم بالأمس هو قتل أكبر عدد ممكن من شبابنا وفتياتنا. وهذه الفتاة كانت آمنة في منزلها وأطلقوا عليها النار، وأيضا الشاب كان يسير بالشارع بشكل طبيعي. وهذه سياسة الحكومة اليمينية المتطرفة الإسرائيلية التي تريد أن تبيد كل الشعب الفلسطيني.
It remains to be seen how Israel will justify their attacks on the West Bank as well. Now, one of the heroes we have been watching, sharing stories from Gaza, is Al Jazeera's veteran bureau chief in Gaza, Wael al-Dahdouh, who has left for Egypt on Tuesday.
He is now set to leave for Qatar to undergo surgery for a wound that he sustained in an Israeli strike last month.
Al Jazeera's Gaza bureau chief, Wael al-Dahdouh, has crossed the Rafah border post with Egypt on Tuesday. He will be scheduled for medical treatment in Qatar, where Al Jazeera's main headquarters is located in the capital, Doha. While al-Dahdouh sustained injuries last month, and his colleague, cameraman Samer Abu Dakar, was killed in an Israeli shelling as they were covering developments in the southern city of Khan Yunis.
الحمد لله على كل حال أولا وإحنا يعني اليوم هذا يعتبر رحلة علاج وإحنا إن شاء الله ربنا سبحانه وتعالى بيكشف هذه الغمة وتتوقف الحرب توقف المعاناة وإن شاء الله ربنا سبحانه وتعالى بعين شعبنا على أنه يحصل على حقوقه بمساعدة الأشقاء في مصر وفي قطر وفي كل العالم العربي والإسلامي وإن شاء الله نعود إلى رأس عملنا بعد علاج اليد.
Dahdouh has been the face of Al Jazeera's 24-hour coverage of Israeli occupational war, along with previous rounds of fighting for millions of Arabic-speaking viewers across the region. Since Israel's relentless onslaught renewed on October 7, al-Dahdouh has suffered immense personal losses. He was reporting on Israel's offensive in October when he received word live on air that his wife, daughter, and son had been killed in an Israeli airstrike of central Gaza's Nusayrat refugee camp. His grandson, wounded in the same strike, died hours later. Meanwhile, earlier this month, his eldest son, Hamza Dahdouh, was killed in strikes targeting a car in Rafah. Since October 7, at least 115 journalists and media professionals have been killed by Israel.
We wish him well, of course, and a loss of health and a speedy recovery. Now we move on to the Korean Peninsula as our headlining story. North Korean state broadcaster KRT has said that Kim Jong-un has warned of war in a speech to a meeting of his country's parliament.
In a speech broadcast on Tuesday, Kim used the phrase, and I quote, most hostile state, to refer to South Korea and accused the U.S. of raising military tension.
While North Korea regularly uses very strong language and threats of doom to its enemies, relations with South Korea are at a new low. This week's parliament meeting announced drastic steps to dismantle three main organizations that Pyongyang has used to pursue cooperation with Seoul.
Kim even said that a monument on the outskirts of Pyongyang, which promotes the North's aspiration for reunification of the Korean Peninsula, should be knocked down.
대한민국이라는 최대의 적국이 우리의 가장 가까운 이웃에 병전하고 있는 특수한 환경과 미국 놈들이 주도하에 군사적 긴장 격화로 지역 정세의 불안정성이 증대되고 있는 현실을 냉철하게 고찰해보면 물리적 충돌에 의한 확전으로 전쟁이 발발할 위험은 현저히 높아졌고 위험 단계에 이르렀습니다. 우리는 전쟁을 바라지 않지만 결코 피할 생각 또한 없습니다. 전쟁이라는 선택을 할 그 어떤 이유도 없으며 따라서 일방적으로 결행할 의도도 없지만 일단 전쟁이 우리 앞에 현실로 다가온다면 절대로 피하는 데 노력하지 않을 것이며 자기의 자주권 사수와 인민의 안전, 생존권을 수호하여 우리는 철저히 준비된 행동에 완벽하고 신속하게 임할 것입니다. 전쟁은 대한민국이라는 실체를 끔찍하게 괴멸시키고 끝나게 만들 것입니다. 그리고 미국에는 상상해보지 못한 재앙과 패배를 안길 것입니다.
As tensions heat, South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol vowed on Tuesday to delay punishment and quotes multiple times stronger if North Korea continue provoking the South.
During a cabinet meeting on Tuesday, Yoon warned that further attacks and moves would be met with an overwhelming response, condemning North Korea's artillery firing near the maritime border.
Yoon also criticized North Korea leader Kim Jong-un for dividing Korean relations as, and I quote, two hostile countries.
지금 대한민국 정부는 과거 어느 정부와도 다릅니다. 우리 군은 압도적 대응 역량을 갖추고 있습니다. 정부는 실시간으로 안보 상황을 합동 점검하면서 대비 태세를 확고하게 유지하고 있습니다. 북한이 도발해온다면 우리는 이를 몇 배로 응징할 것입니다. 북한 당국은 남북 관계를 동족 관계가 아닌 적대적 두 국가 관계로 규정했습니다. 이는 북한 정권 스스로가 반민족적이고 반역사적 집단이라는 사실을 자인한 것입니다. 대한민국을 위협하는 것은 북한 정권이지 북한 주민은 아닙니다. 북한 주민들은 우리와 똑같이 자유와 인권과 번영을 누릴 권리를 가진 우리와 같은 민족입니다.
Still from the Asia, China's government announced a decline in its population in 2023.
The number of deaths rose by 690,000 to 11.1 million, more than double the increase from the previous year.
Demographers anticipated a sharp rise in deaths due to COVID-19 outbreaks that began at the end of the previous year and persisted through February of last year. China has long been the most populated country in the world, but dropped to second place behind India last year, as reported by the UN.
The decline in fertility rate had been falling for the 7th consecutive year, reflecting a long-running economical and societal challenge for the country. The population is steadily aging, posing potential challenges to economic growth over time and the nation's ability to support a larger elderly population with fewer workers.
The number of births fell by 540,000, with approximately 9 million babies were born, which is half of the total in 2016. All figures are estimates based on surveys and do not include Hong Kong and Macau. China conducts a full census every 10 years and faces now the opposite problem after it implemented the one-child policy to control population growth.
The government has sought to encourage births since gradually easing the policy from 2014 to 2016, allowing a second child and then a third child in 2021. The efforts, however, came out with little success.
年末全国人口全年出生人口902万人，人口出生率为6.39%，死亡人口1110万人，人口死亡率为7.87%，人口自然增长率为-1.48%。
And from around the world, we'd like to pull you back to Indonesia. Let's have a quick look now at updates regarding the upcoming Indonesian general elections on Indonesia Votes 2024. Hundreds of ballots in West Sumatra's Padang Pariaman Regency were found damaged, and this was discovered by the Provincial Elections Commission during an inspection at its logistics warehouse, West Sumatra Election Commission, earlier today. Well, we move on to the next story, where now we want to give you live updates, if I'm not mistaken, from the General Elections Committee. We're now connected with our news team, Fakhrian Bahri and Reza Anindita from the Corruption Eradication Commission building, Kuningan, Jakarta, for the latest updates. So good evening, Fakhri. What do you have for us? Please go ahead with your report.
Good evening, everyone who's watching. See, today, the Corruption Eradication Commission invites the three pairs of presidential and vice presidential candidates who will participate in the 2024 general election. This event will be held today on January the 17th, 2024 from 7 to 10 p.m. local time at the Corruption Eradication Commission Office, Jakarta. This activity aims to build the character of integrity to presidential and vice presidential candidates in order to provide an example in carrying out their roles and duties and avoid corrupt behavior. The Corruption Eradication Commission has confirmed that each presidential and vice presidential candidate will be present in this event. For the information, this is not a debate event, but the Corruption Eradication Commission will convey 10 problems in eradicating corruption that will be faced by each candidate. If you look at the corruption index perception in Indonesia in 2023, which is in the number 34, down 4 points from 2022, or rank 110 out of 180 countries in the world. The Corruption Eradication Commission also received 5,078 incoming reports and 8 arrest operations through HUD in 2023. Meanwhile, over the past 10 years, 6 ministries and 1 deputy minister have been caught in corruption case. This is why the commitment of each candidate is very important in eradicating corruption. So if you look at the vision and mission of the 3 pairs of presidential and vice presidential candidates in eradicating corruption, presidential and vice presidential candidate number 1, Anies Baswedan and Muhaimin Iskandar, namely reducing level of corruption through improving corruption perception index score, strengthening corruption prevention through the national integrity system, restoring the role of KPK and others. Presidential and vice presidential candidate number 2, Prabowo Subianto and Gibran Rakabuming Raka, namely ensuring no intervention in KPK, balanced corruption eradication, striving for asset recovery, and others. Meanwhile, presidential and vice presidential candidate number 3, Ganjar Pranowo and Mahfud MD, namely accelerating technology information support, strengthening KPK together with prosecutors and the police, in securing state assets from the hands of corruptors, and imprisoning corruptors in Nusa Kambangan. So that's a wrap for the vision and mission of each candidate, of each presidential and vice presidential candidates. We are still waiting for each candidate to be present at the KPK building at today's event. Back to studio.
Now thank you. Thank you for your report. Now moving on, hundreds of ballots in West Sumatra's Padang Pariaman Regency were found damaged.
And this was discovered by the Provincial Elections Commission during an inspection at its logistics warehouse, West Sumatra Election Commission, earlier today.
West Sumatra Election Commission inspected its logistic warehouse in the Regency to oversee the ballot folding process, which had reached 60% completion.
Commissioner John Manedi found the damaged ballot papers were splattered by ink, torn, and split.
Jadi memang ditemukan beberapa jenis surat suara yang dikategorikan rusak, tapi kita masih melakukan sortir lagi sehingga itu bisa kita atasi dengan baik. Jadi kita melihat kerusakan itu banyak dari yang robek di samping sisi surat suara. Jadi itu memang kita kategorikan rusak berat karena ketika misalnya digunakan nanti oleh pemilih, nanti itu bisa berakibat pada surat suara.
And we're going for our first quick break in the hour, but when we come back, we'll have the latest from Southeast Asia and around the world.
That's right, and later during the hour, I'll bring you the latest from the world of business.
And sport with me. Stay with us on the Travel Show today.
Good morning, Indonesia, Southeast Asia, and the world. Rise and shine, everyone. A brand new start to a brand new month and a brand new week here at
Good morning. Good morning. It's a deja vu. Good.
It's like deja vu. It's like with sports, entertainment as well.
It is time for Steve Today with Business with me, Caroline. All right, guys. See Indonesia, see the world, see today.
Operating in south of the city has united to assist displaced children in a refugee camp in Rafah in overcoming the trauma of war. The volunteers come from diverse professional backgrounds and share expertise in working with young people.
Asian flavors is gaining more popularity around the world in the last decade. personally love this, not just because it is familiar for our palate, but because the airiness, the textures of the youtiao, it's completely different than baguette. So with those appetites and with those pleasure-driven people, Menteng is a very special place for restaurant.
Hey there, buddies! Welcome back to another episode of Buddy Talk.
Enggak, dia hostnya, kita co-hostnya.
It's better to be overdressed than underdressed. That's actually a good hack, because I used to live in Canada. That was our trick. Point to Manado on this map. I'm horrible. I told you I'm bad.
Dikira dengan banyaknya informasi itu kan jadi makin gampang gitu nulis.
Iya.
Tapi ternyata susah banget. Ke Binjai mau migrasi.
Cakep.
Anjay, aku depotsi.
Ya aku cuma mau bilang hari ini kamu tuh cantik loh.
Aduh ya Allah.
Oke lah kalau penampilan dia nggak sebaik itu, nggak sebagus itu, nggak seganteng itu, tapi itu hatinya dia sebaik itu dan tidak ada orang yang pernah gue temuin hatinya sebaik Mars.
Pemain.
Welcome back to Spotlight, ladies and gentlemen, where we bring you guys some of the sports that you guys can go play here in Indonesia.
Handball karena masih baru, tadi kita harus bisa juga mempopulerkan ini kepada masyarakat sampai ke bawah.
We do it from scratch at the time because we don't know ice hockey, how to play, how to develop, how to manage this sport. You don't have to be good with your foot. You can just dribble the ball and just throw it to the full ball. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
I love this atmosphere. Woo! Heading to Gili Trawangan. And this is the travel note because life is dope.
Their existence is now being critically endangered.
Dia memiliki ekor yang sangat panjang, lebih panjang, jauh lebih panjang daripada badannya sendiri.
Tekniknya dia keluar dia itu bergelombol, menggunakan punggung temannya untuk naik.
Sebenarnya konservasi burung hantu di sini latar belakangnya jelas asas manfaat. Jadi kita pengen melestarikan burung, melestarikan satwa, tapi juga otomatis dampaknya ke masyarakat yang khususnya sekarang kalau di sini kan petani.
Good morning, Indonesia, Southeast Asia, and the world. Rise and shine, everyone. A brand new start to a brand new month and a brand new week.
Good morning. Good morning. It's like deja vu. Good.
It's like deja vu. It's like with sports, entertainment as well.
It is time for See Today with Business with me, Caroline. All right, guys. See Indonesia, see the world, see today.
Hey there, buddies! Welcome back to another episode of Buddy Talk.
Enggak, dia hostnya, kita co-hostnya.
It's better to be overdressed than underdressed. That's actually a good hack, because I used to live in Canada. That was our trick. Point to Manado on this map. I'm horrible. I told you I'm bad.
Dikira dengan banyaknya informasi itu kan jadi makin gampang gitu nulis.
Iya.
Tapi ternyata susah banget.
Asian flavors is gaining more popularity around the world in the last decade. Personally love this, not just because it is familiar for our palate, but because the airiness, the textures of the youtiao, it's completely different than baguette. So with those appetites and with those pleasure-driven people, Menteng is a very special place for us.
Welcome back to the Swear News Show with SNC. Today we'd like to share more news from Indonesia as land mafia practices in Indonesia have led to land dispute conflicts. A farmer in Bekasi Regency, West Java was appalled when he learned that his land certificate had been pledged to secure a bank loan.
And he has filed a report with the police and financial authorities, but the case has yet to be resolved.
A farmer named Kacung Supriyatna in Bekasi Regency, West Java was shocked when a debt collector came to get him to pay for 4 billion rupiah of loan repayment. He was also appalled when he learned that his land certificate has been pledged to secure a bank loan, when he never found himself apply for any loan from a bank. An investigation later revealed that the loan application documents which was written under his name were fake, and little did he know before that he had become a victim of land mafias. The 63-year-old man has made various efforts to seek justice. He went to see the police to file a report. He also went to the land office in Bekasi and financial authorities, but a resolution is nowhere in sight.
Penanganan masalah kasus petani itu sudah ditangani intensif oleh Satreskrim Polres Metro Bekasi. Kasusnya ini bermula si korban menitipkan sertifikatnya. Ini digadekan. Nah, akhirnya semua dipalsukan identitas korban, kemudian semuanya dipalsukan sehingga dari penyelidikan kita terapkan ada 5 pasal yaitu 263, 264, 266, 273 dan 385. Ancamannya kumulatif dari 4 sampai 8 tahun.
On the other side, dozens of people from Karangsari village gathered on Tuesday at police headquarters of South Lampung region. Representing the transmigration community victims of land mafias, these people extended their gratitude to the police for dismantling land mafias cases and arrested the perpetrator who happened to be the village head. See Today contributor reporting from Bekasi, West Java and South Lampung, Lampung Province.
And Singapore's finance ministry announced that its citizens will be receiving assurance packages from the government to assist them with rising living costs and inflation.
Elderly citizens in particular will receive extra packages from the finance ministry.
The finance ministry made this announcement on its website and its various social media accounts on January 15th. The announcement detailed that the assurance package will involve cash, discounts, vouchers, and MediSave top-ups.
The program primarily aims to help with the rising cost of living, goods and service tax, and inflation.
The website detailed every Singaporean, excluding those aged 20 to 55, will receive 150 Singaporean dollars in their MediSave accounts. This amounts to about $112 US. The recipients amount to around 2 million Singaporeans.
Additional lower-income Singaporeans above the age of 55 will receive up to 300 Singaporean dollars from February 2024. When converted, the amount is about 226 United States dollars.
This financial aid program was proposed in 2020 to aid with rising goods and service taxes. The disbursement is part of a continuation of a program started last year, and it's to conclude in 2025.
In 2023, Deputy Minister Wong Hu is also the finance minister, announced that 1.1 billion cost of living packages will be given to Singaporeans. Finally, the finance minister website has also detailed steps to receive the monetary support by providing necessary links. Moving on to the Philippines, where President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. on Monday said that 11.12 billion pesos has been prepared for specialty medical centers in 2024.
This policy follows the Act of Specialty Centers and Department of Health Hospitals that were signed back on August 24, 2023.
Additionally, the Act mandates specialty centers in departments of health hospital and government-owned or controlled corporation specialty hospital throughout the nation.
Moreover, the specialty centers include physical rehabilitation, infectious disease and tropical medicine, orthopedic care, toxicology, mental health, dermatology, geriatric care, neonatal, eye, nose and throat care. The Act has established 131 specialty centers throughout the Philippines since December 2023.
Noong August 24, 2023, pinirmahan ko ang Republic Act number 11959, known as the Regional Specialty Centers Act. Ito yung mga ating specialty centers, specialty hospitals sa iba't ibang lugar. As of December 2023, we have established 131 specialty centers nationwide. Nakapagbigay tayo ng 11.12 billion for 2024 para makapagpatayo pa tayo ng mga specialty centers sa iba't ibang lugar. Marami na rin tayong ginawa sa ilalim ng programang Doctors to the Barangays. Itong programa na ito ay in-expand to 204 out of 218 municipalities naman. Ang katumbas niyan ay 91% na ng municipalities ay masasabi nating may nag-aalaga na doktor. Kaya napaka-importante nito. Patuloy pa itong programang ito para naman masabi natin na talaga nating binabantayan ang kalusugan ng ating mga mga.
And now pulling you back to Indonesia, have you been on the whoosh?
Not yet.
Me too. I really want to. I'm FOMOing because all of my friends had their fun with their families to whoosh, and I have no reason to go to Bandung just yet, but I will, I promise. Because this next story talks about a media day that was held for the training of the train drivers for Whoosh, the first high-speed railway in Indonesia and the fastest in Southeast Asia.
And our news team was able to witness the training for the first group of Indonesian train driver candidates and filed for the following report.
Here I am at the Indonesia-China High-Speed Railway, or KCIC, Tegaluar Depot, where today it is the media day, and we got to see the simulator or the training for the first Indonesian candidate to become the Whoosh train driver. And what we just see is actually the simulator box, where this simulator, they showed us about how do they operate Whoosh simulator. This one is Karawang to Stasiun Halim within Jakarta, which this as well, that what is interesting is that they showed the obstacle, how Whoosh can handle the obstacle, and every season, rain, and then also sunny, and also the snow as well. So from that, the candidate is trained to be able to know how to handle every obstacle and also every season. And this is the first group for the Indonesian candidate to become the train driver for Whoosh, which from here they have to pass the practical training, and later on they will get the certificate from EMU, or the electrical multiple units, which later they will able to operate the Whoosh, which the target is by next year. From Tegaluar, West Java, Reski Anasto, and Ferry Ahmad for See Today.
Thank you for the report, Reski Anasto. Now let's move on to the Indonesian President Joko Widodo, who recently led the groundbreaking ceremonies in the country's new capital city of Nusantara in East Kalimantan.
The event saw a number of both state-owned and private projects inaugurated earlier today.
According to data from the IKN authority, there are 10 projects set to begin construction. These include a logistics hub by PT Pos Indonesia, a state mosque, and a radio broadcast studio.
The state mosque, which costs 940 billion rupiah, is designed to accommodate 61,000 worshippers and become one of the places of worship in the city.
Speaking during the groundbreaking ceremony, President Joko Widodo expressed hopes that the logistics hub will significantly contribute to domestic supply chain with more affordable logistics.
Saya menyambut baik peluncuran Nusantara Logistics Hubs and Services yang merupakan kerjasama sinergi antara Pos Indonesia dengan PT Bina Karya Persero di Ibu Kota Nusantara. Ini akan mendukung keberadaan IKN sebagai super hub, dan kehadiran perusahaan jasa logistik di IKN ini sangat-sangat dibutuhkan. Sejalan kalau kita lihat padatnya kegiatan yang ada di sini, dan semakin banyaknya aktivitas pergerakan orang, pergerakan barang, terutama ke IKN, dari dan ke IKN. Apalagi menjelang penyiapan beroperasinya berbagai usaha, berbagai kantor-kantor yang ada di IKN. Saya berharap
Well, it's good to see that IKN, the development of IKN is progressing very fast.
Yeah, of course.
Do you think there will be a chance for us to have to transfer there? I mean, they're already building a radio station.
Maybe see today will be there also.
Oh, excited to find out in the next couple of years. Now we have to get through the election first, of course.
Okay.
The government of Thailand has introduced a special visa for foreigners and tourists keen to study Muay Thai in the country. Wow, I'm taking notes of this.
Okay, and this unique Muay Thai visa is expected to serve as an instrument of soft power in promoting Thai culture.
On January 14th, Prime Minister Srettha Thavisin mentioned on his Twitter account, or X account, that the Thai government supports the country's soft power strategy by announcing a special visa designed for foreigners seeking Muay Thai training.
Foreigners visiting Thailand can stay for 60 days with the regular tourist visa, but with the Muay Thai visa, they can extend their stay up to 90 days.
In addition to attracting foreign enthusiasts, the government of Thailand aims to training and enhance trainer competence by providing certification training.
There are currently over 4,000 Muay Thai training centers all over the world, and many foreign participants engage in Muay Thai competition held in Thailand. And the Muay Thai visa is also expected to attract a large number of tourists who are eager to experience Thailand's rich culture and learn the martial arts.
You know, Muay Thai is one of the fastest growing sports in the world, one of the most popular sports, not just for competitive, but for training. When I went to Thailand the first time in 2012, I actually went for a 3-day Muay Thai camp.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did. So it was a holiday with my best friend, but we went to Phuket and I went for a 3-day Muay Thai camp and I thought I would die.
Is it different the Muay Thai from here in outside Thailand, in the Thailand?
Actually, no, but it is very different to experience it straight away from a Thai instructor. Because here you have Indonesian instructors. I'm not saying they're, they're not competent. I'm just saying that it's a different experience. Because when you are in Thailand, you would see and hear promotion cars of Muay Thai fights, right? They would be on loudspeakers with sirens and just loudspeakers saying, "Come to the show, come to the show," and this is fighting 7 p.m. in this gym. I mean, this is like a major tourist attraction, and if they have the capability to extend the visa for 90 days, I think that's be pretty cool. And a lot of people would be interested.
That's really interesting.
We're now going for another break.
And after the break, Maria will deliver some economic and business updates. Maria?
Hi guys.
Hi.
So in the business segment, we're going to talk about the good news from Gaikindo, the Association of Indonesia Automotive Sales Agents, that reported a surge in wholesale electric vehicle with hybrid electric vehicles, guess what, dominating the market.
Hybrid electric.
Isn't that an interesting news? Yes, that and more to come after the break. So stay here only on Triano Show on See Today.
The beauty and the excitement of being there.
In such an iconic, historical, and magnificent.
Let's take a look around, shall we? Come on in.
We found them.
Where people come and go. A cup of tea, a perfect way to end your day. Come see the beauty, only on See Indonesia.
I love this atmosphere. Woo! Heading to Gili Trawangan. And this is the travel note because life is dope.
Their existence is now being critically endangered.
Dia memiliki ekor yang sangat panjang, jauh lebih panjang daripada badannya sendiri.
Tekniknya dia itu bergelombol menggunakan punggung temannya untuk naik.
Sebenarnya konservasi burung hantu di sini latar belakangnya jelas asas manfaat. Jadi kita pengen melestarikan burung, melestarikan satwa, tapi juga otomatis dampaknya ke masyarakat yang khususnya sekarang kalau di sini kan petani.
Hey there, buddies. back to another episode of Buddy Talk.
Enggak, dia hostnya, kita co-hostnya.
It's better to be overdressed than underdressed. That's actually a good hack, because I used to live in Canada. That was our trick.
Point to Manado on this map. I'm horrible, I told you I'm bad.
Dikira dengan banyaknya informasi itu kan jadi makin gampang gitu nulis.
Iya.
Tapi ternyata susah banget. Ke Binjai mau migrasi.
Cakep.
Anjay, aku depotsi.
Ya aku cuma mau bilang hari ini kamu tuh cantik ya.
Aduh ya Allah.
Oke lah kalau penampilan dia nggak sebaik itu, nggak sebagus itu, nggak seganteng itu, tapi itu hatinya dia sebaik itu dan tidak ada orang yang pernah gue temuin hatinya sebaik Mars.
Pemain.
Indonesia, Southeast Asia, and the world. Rise and shine, everyone. A brand new start to a brand new month and a brand new week. Here at
Good morning. Good morning. It's a deja vu. Good.
Like deja vu. It's like with sports, entertainment as well.
It is time for See Today with Business with me, Caroline. All right, guys. See Indonesia, see the world, see today. Welcome back to Treasury Show on See Today. It's time for some business updates with me, Maria Harfanti. Let's start with the news from Indonesia, where the Association of Indonesia Automotive Sole Agents Gaikindo reported a surge in wholesale electric vehicle sales with nearly 70,000 units sold in 2023. The hybrid electric vehicles dominated the market, accounting for 75% of total EV sales, while pure BEV constituted for 24% of the market.
The Association of Indonesia Automotive Sole Agents, or Gaikindo, reported a significant surge in wholesale electric vehicle sales, totaling 69,763 units in 2023. This marked a remarkable 237.3% increase compared to 2022. The majority of these sales were dominated by hybrid electric vehicles, which combine fuel-powered and electric battery-powered engines. Over 52,500 hybrid EVs were sold in 2023, accounting for 75% of total EV sales in the country. In contrast, purely battery electric vehicles accounted for 17,000 units, representing 24% of the total sales. Additionally, 137 units of plug-in hybrids were sold last year. Despite this, all types of electric vehicles experienced a substantial increase in sales compared to 2022. Hybrid EV sales, for example, grew from 5,100 units in 2022 to over 52,000 last year, seeing a 164% increase. Similarly, battery EV sales in 2023 increased by 65% compared to the previous year. Toyota and Suzuki dominated the sales in the hybrid EV market in 2023. Toyota's Innova Zenix Q Modelista hybrids, with over 13,500 units sold, led the sales charts, while other models of the Toyota Innova Zenix EV series comprised the top 3 most sold. Suzuki's XL7 Alpha Hybrid EV secured the 4th spot in the rankings. Meanwhile, Hyundai and Wuling dominated the sales of pure battery EVs last year. Hyundai Ioniq 5 Signature model topped the list with over 6,300 units sold. Meanwhile, various models of the Wuling Air EV were among the top 5 best-selling BEVs in Indonesia.
Moving on, now we're going to talk about major U.S. banks that have recently enjoyed substantial profits thanks to high interest rates. However, it appears that this trend might taper off soon. In their fourth quarter earnings reports last Friday, the 4 major U.S. banks estimated lower profits from lending compared to the previous year. The key 4 reports of this major bank underscore just how lucrative a move by the Fed to lift interest rates has been for them. It has allowed them to charge more the loans without facing pressure from savers demanding higher saving rates. Inflation dropped sharply from 9.1% the previous year to 3.4% in December 2023. Meanwhile, unemployment remains relatively low at 3.7%. Despite these positive indicators, a recent ABC Washington Post poll suggests that less than a third of respondents believe that President Biden is effectively managing the world's largest economy. Despite the optimistic outlook on the overall financial health of consumers, the banks noted that savings are not as robust as they were a year ago. Still from the US, Tesla CEO Elon Musk expressed discomfort with growing the automaker into a leader in AI and robotics without having at least 25% voting control of the company, or nearly double his current stake. Elon Musk said on X earlier this week that he would be willing to build products outside of Tesla if he did not secure a stock position that grants him enough influence without being overly dominant. Tesla shares then fell 2% in pre-market trading on Tuesday, following Musk's comments. Musk, who's currently the world's richest person, holds approximately 13% of Tesla stock, having sold billions of dollars worth of shares in 2022 to partly fund his $44 billion acquisition of Twitter. In a separate post on X, Musk mentioned his openness to dual-class share structure to attain the desired 25% voting control. However, he noted that such approach was deemed impossible after Tesla's initial public offering. According to the anti-poverty organization Oxfam International, the world is set to see the first trillionaire in a decade. This is according to Oxfam's latest report titled Inequality Incorporated, which was released in January this year, ahead of the 54th annual meeting of the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland.
In a recent report, Oxfam International says the world will see its first trillionaire within a decade. According to the report, titled Inequality Incorporated, Oxfam estimates that the wealth of the world's 5 richest men has more than doubled in 4 years' time, or since the pandemic struck in early 2020. Oxfam says that we are now entering a decade of division. In contrast to the rapid rise in wealth among billionaires, poverty will need more than 200 years to combat, while 800 million workers are currently struggling to keep up with inflation.
We saw that since 2020, and that's why we are calling it a decade of division, you've seen the billionaires add almost $3 trillion to their wealth. And on the other hand, 800 million workers in this world have not been able to have wages which match up to the inflation. So it's really a combination of factors, which is essentially about we would say how these corporate monopoly powers are controlling the market, dodging taxes, squeezing workers, plundering Mother Earth, and privatizing state resources.
In contrast, the organization estimates that nearly 5 billion people, or more than half the world's population, have become even poorer, many of them in developing countries.
In this world where you're actually adding more people who are sleeping hungry, as we already said that there are 5 billion people who have probably become poorer now. And in that context, to have a trillionaire is unimaginable. And I would say it's very important to underscore that it's a massive policy and political failure of the economic system that we have created. If we had really elevated poverty, maybe we should have been celebrating that. But to have a trillionaire within a decade when we cannot do away with poverty for 200 years is totally unacceptable. And I think it's really a fundamental choice that we need to make.
This is exacerbated by geopolitical disruptions, as Russia's invasion of Ukraine since February 2022 has led to soaring energy and food prices worldwide, increasing inflation, leading to a cost of living crisis worldwide. The latest report from Oxfam International comes as the WEF calls for greater cooperation at its annual meeting amid unprecedented geopolitical and geo-economic changes.
And that has concluded the economics and business updates for this hour. When we return, Aris will bring you the latest from the world of sports.
Asian flavors is gaining more popularity around the world in the last decade. Personally love this, not just because it is familiar for our palate, but because the airiness, the textures of the youtiao, it's completely different than baguette. So with those appetites and with those pleasure-driven people, Menteng is a restaurant.
Ke Binjai mau migrasi.
Cakep.
Anjay, aku deportasi.
Ya aku cuma mau bilang hari ini kamu tuh cantik loh.
Aduh ya Allah.
Oke lah kalau penampilan dia nggak sebaik itu, nggak sebagus itu, nggak seganteng itu, tapi itu hatinya dia sebaik itu dan tidak ada orang yang pernah gue temuin hatinya sebaik Maris.
Pemain.
I love this atmosphere. Woo! Heading to Gili Trawangan. And this is the travel note because life is dope.
Their existence is now being critically endangered.
Dia memiliki ekor yang sangat panjang, jauh lebih panjang daripada badannya sendiri.
Tekniknya dia keluar dia itu bergelombol menggunakan punggung temannya untuk naik.
Sebenarnya konservasi burung hantu di sini latar belakangnya jelas asas manfaat. Jadi kita pengen melestarikan burung, melestarikan satwa, tapi juga otomatis dampaknya ke masyarakat yang khususnya sekarang kalau di sini kan petani.
Good morning, Indonesia, Southeast Asia, and the world. Rise and shine, everyone. A brand new start to a brand new month and a brand new week. Here at
Good morning. Good morning. It's a deja vu. Good.
It's like deja vu. It's like with sports, entertainment as well.
It is time for Steve Today with Business with me, Caroline. All right, guys. See Indonesia, see the world, see today.
Group of volunteers operating in south of the city has united to assist displaced children in a refugee camp in Rafah in overcoming the trauma of war. The volunteers come from diverse professional backgrounds and share expertise in working with young people.
Oh, I love this atmosphere. Woo! Heading to Gili Trawangan. And this special episode, I already prepared myself for an adventure on the island, which in the top of the list to visit. And this is the travel note because life is dope.
Welcome back to the Travel Show. It's time for some sports update. We start from badminton, where Indonesian doubles Fajar Alfian and Muhammad Rian Ardianto had to play a rubber game against Malaysian pair Wei Chongman and Kai Wun-ji to qualify for the top 16 of this year's India Open. They successfully secured a spot in the top 16 following an epic comeback after losing the first game. Indonesian men's doubles Fajar Alfian and Muhammad Rian Ardianto faced their Malaysian opponents Wei Chongman and Kai Wun-ji in the first round of India Open at the KD Jeddah Indoor Hall in New Delhi on Tuesday. The Malaysian pair won the first game 21-16, but Fajar and also Rian managed to win the second game 21-15, forcing them to play a rubber game. Fajar and Rian maintained their lead to close out the third game 21-13, and their victory launched the pair to the top 16 of the 2024 India Open. Into football in Tuesday, AFC Asian Group F opener in Qatar, Ali Al Bulayhi secured a dramatic victory for Saudi Arabia by netting the decisive goal in stoppage time. The team rallied from goal down to beat Oman 2-1. Ali Al Bulaihi scored the winner in stoppage time as Saudi Arabia came from a goal down to beat Oman 2-1 in their AFC Asian Cup Group F opener on Tuesday in Qatar. Oman took an early lead through Salah Al Yahyaei penalty in the 14th minute, but Saudi Arabia leveled after the break through a strike by Abdurrahman Gharib in the 78th minute. Al Bulaihi then stunned Oman when he scored the winner from a corner 6 minutes into added time, allowing Saudi Arabia to claim all 3 points at the death. AS Roma coach Jose Mourinho has been sacked by the Cagliarossi, and this following the club's poor performance this season, including the recent losses against AC Milan in the league and Lazio in the Italian Cup.
AS Roma announced on Tuesday that Jose Mourinho is leaving the club with immediate effect, ending a times successful but also turbulent stay in the Italian capital for the veteran coach. This follows 2 days after a 3-1 loss against AC Milan, which left Roma in 9th place in Serie A and at risk of missing the Champions League for a 6th straight season. Roma was also eliminated by Lazio in an Italian Cup derby last week. Mourinho was in his 3rd season at Roma, and his contract was due to expire in June. He led the Giallorossi to the UEFA Conference League title in his 1st season, and Roma became the Europa League finalist last season. However, Mourinho was also given a series of bans for his protests and triads against referees, which was not appreciated by Roma's American owners. Mourinho was banned by UEFA from 4 European games for verbally abusing the Europa League final referee in a stadium garage after Roma lost to Sevilla. He was also suspended for the game at Milan on Sunday due to protests. Roma added that the updates on the coaching staff will follow imminently. Former Roma captain Daniel De Rossi is being mentioned as a possible caretaker, while there have been reports that ownership is trying to hire Antonio Conte for the next season.
Into next story, Sebastian Loeb clocked up his 27th stage win on Tuesday, moving in the 2024 Dakar Rally. In the bike category, Adrian van Beveren secured the stage win, finishing just 32 seconds ahead of Ricky Brabec.
Sebastian Loeb secured his 27th stage win in the Dakar Rally after triumphing in the 9th stage. The victory saw Loeb consolidate 2nd place in the overall standings, but remains 20 minutes and 33 seconds behind the current leader, Carlos Sainz. In the bikes category, Adrian van Beveren claimed the stage win after finishing just 32 seconds ahead of the overall leader, Ricky Brabec. Brabec maintains a 7 minutes and 9 seconds lead over his closest rival, Ross Branch, while Van Beveren is 11 minutes and 20 seconds off the pace. Stage 10 has seen participants in Al Ula covering 612 kilometers on Wednesday, with the final scheduled on Friday.
The air filled with anticipation as 12 French Olympic athletes confidently made their way down the catwalk, unveiling the eagerly awaited official outfits for the upcoming Paris Olympics. The venue, namely the Boston headquarters of the National Olympic Committee, is alive with excitement. At the heart of Paris Fashion Week, a vision of athletic prowess and haute couture as a French Olympic tent unveils their stylish ensembles, masterfully crafted by designer Stéphane Assoupol and brought to life by the renowned French brand Lecoq Sportif. The unique and chic outfits that will become synonymous with the Paris Olympics. The atmosphere is a blend of sporty energy and high fashion glamour. The catwalk transformed into a showcase of innovation and elegance, showcasing not only the competition and training attire, but also the athletes' village uniform, resonating with a nostalgic 1990s vibe.
Designed to inspire and empower, these outfits encapsulate the spirit of the France Olympic team, perfect energy of style and athleticism. Get ready to witness this extraordinary design in action as the Paris Olympic unfolds from July 26 to August 11.
And that's our sport for this hour, but when we return, we'll have more information. So keep it right here on Triawan News Show on C Today.
Good morning, Indonesia, Southeast Asia, and the world. Rise and shine, everyone. A brand new start to a brand new month and a brand new week. Here at
Good morning. Good morning. It's a deja vu. Good.
It's like deja vu. It's like with sports, entertainment as well.
It is time for See Today with Business with me, Caroline. All right, guys. See Indonesia, see the world, see today.
A group of volunteers operating in the south of the city has united to assist displaced children in a refugee camp in Rafah in overcoming the trauma of war. The volunteers come from diverse professional backgrounds and share expertise in working with young people.
Asian flavors is gaining more popularity around the world in the last decade. Personally love this, not just because it is familiar for our palate, but because the airiness, the textures of the youtiao, it's completely different than baguette. So with those appetite and with those pleasure-driven people, Menteng is a very special place for restaurant.
Another episode of Buddy Talk.
Dia hostnya, kita co-hostnya.
It's better to be overdressed than underdressed. That's actually a good hack, because I used to live in Canada. That was our trick.
Point to Manado on this map. I'm horrible. I told you I'm bad.
Dikira dengan banyaknya informasi itu kan jadi makin gampang gitu nulis.
Iya.
Tapi ternyata susah banget.
Ke Binjai mau migrasi.
Cakep.
Anjay, aku deportasi.
Ya aku cuma mau bilang hari ini kamu tuh cantik loh.
Aduh ya Allah. Oke lah kalau penampilan dia nggak sebaik itu, nggak sebagus itu, nggak seganteng itu, tapi itu hatinya dia sebaik itu dan tidak ada orang yang pernah gue temuin hatinya sebaik Maris.
Pemain.
I love this atmosphere. Woo! Heading to Gili Trawangan. And this is the travel note because life is dope.
Their existence is now being critically endangered.
Dia memiliki ekor yang sangat panjang, lebih panjang, jauh lebih panjang daripada badannya sendiri.
Tekniknya dia keluar dia itu bergelombol menggunakan punggung temannya untuk naik.
Sebenarnya konservasi burung hantu di sini latar belakangnya jelas asas manfaat. Jadi kita pengen melestarikan burung, melestarikan satwa, tapi juga otomatis dampaknya ke masyarakat yang khususnya sekarang kalau di sini kan petani.
Welcome to our viewers in Indonesia and across the world. Thank you for joining us on the second hour of today's 3-hour news show on See Today. It is January 17th. For the next 2 hours, we'll bring you the latest from Indonesia, Southeast Asia, and around the world. I'm your host for today, Kai Surya. With me are Aris Satya and Maria Harfanti.
Hello, I'm Aris Satya. Welcome to the 3-hour news show. Make sure you follow us on X, Instagram, and also YouTube at CTD News for the latest updates. And with us today is Maria from the latest from the business world.
Yes, thank you, Aris. I'm Maria Harfanti. We'll take a look at market and business updates from the country, the region, and elsewhere around the world. But now let's take a look at what made the top stories for today.
From around the world, Kim Jong-un has warned of war in a speech to a meeting of his country's parliament as relations between North and South Korea are at a new low.
In business, the Association of Indonesia Automotive Sole Agents, Gaikindo, reported a surge in wholesale electric vehicle sales, with nearly 70,000 units sold in 2023.
The latest in the 2024 Dakar Rally, since Sebastian Loeb looked up his 27th stage win, with Adrian Van Beveren secure a similar win in the bike category.
And stay tuned for a final hour. In our See the Story segment, we'll have a discussion on how to raise awareness of cage-free production of eggs and the benefits of consuming cage-free eggs.
Now let's start with our first story in this hour. It's about an Israeli attack that struck a residential house in the Al-Shaburah camp in the southern Gaza city of Rafah, resulting in the tragic loss of 3 lives, including 2 children.
At least 3 people, including 2 children, were killed after an Israeli strike hit a residential house in the southern Gaza city of Rafah yesterday. A footage captured in Rafah showed scores of injured people rushing to the hospital, with medical staff scrambling to treat the wounded.
The incident followed a barrage of at least 25 rockets launched from the Gaza Strip towards southern Israel on Tuesday and damaging a store. It marked one of the strongest bombardments from Gaza in over a week. Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant said on Monday that the Israeli army was expanding control from northern Gaza toward other parts of the Strip.
البلد هذه عمري ما عملت لهم حاجة ولا شيء ولا حاجة الحين أنا
Still in the same matter, the Palestinian Health Ministry said that mourners gathered on Tuesday for the funeral of 2 Palestinians who were shot dead by Israeli forces near the West Bank city of Hebron the previous day.
The Palestinian Health Ministry reported the deaths of a man aged 22 and a woman aged 23 who were killed by live ammunition during clashes in Dura. The Israeli military said that about 100 people threw fire bombs and blocks at troops who fired back. The military said 1 person was killed while others were hit, and that the incident was under review.
The West Bank has experienced an escalation in violence since October the 7th. The ministry says Israeli forces have killed some 350 Palestinians there since the conflict escalated.
They must have been killed in confrontation with Israeli forces during arrests, raids, or violent protests. Palestinians from the West Bank have also carried out attacks against Israel during that time.
بالأمس اقتحمت مدينة دورة قوة كبيرة من جيش الاحتلال وقامت بإطلاق النار بشكل عشوائي على كل أهالي المدينة وعلى المحلات وعلى المنازل. وهذه الحكومة الإسرائيلية الفاشية النازية التي تستهدف كل الشعب الفلسطيني، وكان هدفهم بالأمس هو قتل أكبر عدد ممكن من شبابنا وفتياتنا. وهذه الفتاة كانت آمنة في منزلها وأطلقوا عليها النار. أيضا الشاب كان يسير بالشارع بشكل طبيعي. وهذه سياسة الحكومة اليمينية المتطرفة الإسرائيلية التي تريد أن تبيد كل الشعب الفلسطيني.
And let's move on to our headlining story. North Korean state broadcaster KRT said that Kim Jong-un has warned of war in his speech to a meeting of his country's parliament.
In a speech broadcast on Tuesday, Kim used the phrase, and I quote, most hostile state, to refer to South Korea and accused the U.S. of raising military tension.
While North Korea regularly uses very strong language and threats of doom to its enemies, relations with South Korea are at a new low. This week's parliament meeting announced drastic steps to dismantle 3 main organizations that Pyongyang has used to pursue cooperation with Seoul.
Kim even said that a monument on the outskirts of Pyongyang, which promotes the North's aspiration for reunification with the Korean Peninsula, should be knocked down.
대한민국이라는 최대의 적국이 우리의 가장 가까운 이웃에 병전하고 있는 특수한 환경과 미국 놈들이 주도하에 군사적 긴장 격화로 지역 정세의 불안정성이 증대되고 있는 현실을 냉철하게 고찰해보면 물리적 충돌에 의한 확전으로 전쟁이 발발할 위험은 현저히 높아졌고 위험 단계에 이르렀습니다. 우리는 전쟁을 바라지 않지만 결코 피할 생각 또한 없습니다. 전쟁이라는 선택을 할 그 어떤 이유도 없으며 따라서 일방적으로 결행할 의도도 없지만 일단 전쟁이 우리 앞에 현실로 다가온다면 절대로 피하는 데 노력하지 않을 것이며 자기의 자주권 사수와 인민의 안전, 생존권을 수호하여 우리는 철저히 준비된 행동에 완벽하고 신속하게 임할 것입니다. 전쟁은 대한민국이라는 실체를 끔찍하게 괴멸시키고 끝나게 만들 것입니다. 그리고 미국에는 상상해보지 못한 재앙과 패배를 안길 것입니다.
Now, to further describe how dire and how much this conflict has escalated, South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol has vowed on Tuesday to deal a punishment, in quotes, multiple times stronger if North Korea continue to provoke the South.
During a cabinet meeting on Tuesday, Yoon warned that further attacks and moves would be met with an overwhelming response, condemning North Korea's artillery firing near the maritime border.
Yoon also criticized North Korean leader Kim Jong-un for defining Third Korean relations as two hostile countries.
지금 대한민국 정부는 과거 어느 정부와도 다릅니다. 우리 군은 압도적 대응 역량을 갖추고 있습니다. 정부는 실시간으로 안보 상황을 합동 점검하면서 대비 태세를 확고하게 유지하고 있습니다. 북한이 도발해온다면 우리는 이를 몇 배로 응징할 것입니다. 북한 당국은 남북 관계를 동족 관계가 아닌 적대적 두 국가 관계로 규정했습니다. 이는 북한 정권 스스로가 반민족적이고 반역사적 집단이라는 사실을 자인한 것입니다. 대한민국을 위협하는 것은 북한 정권이지 북한 주민은 아닙니다. 북한 주민들은 우리와 똑같이 자유와 인권과 번영을 누릴 권리를 가진 우리와 같은 민족입니다.
And from the Korean Peninsula, we'll pull you back to Indonesia. Let's take a look now at updates regarding the upcoming Indonesian general elections on Indonesia Votes 2024. Now, the Indonesian Anti-Graft Commission, KPK, is set to hold a meeting with all presidential candidates and their running mates this evening at the Commission's headquarters.
The meeting aims to shed light on the commitment between the peers to deal with corruption.
The so-called Paku Integritas meeting is expected to assist KPK in finding solutions to resolve corruption issues.
The forum will see candidates answering questions about how they will eradicate corruption.
And all three presidential candidates will sign a pact to show their commitment to resolving the issues.
Forum itu kita maksudkan lembaga ingin menyampaikan kepada para calon ini problem apa saja, hambatan apa saja yang kita temukan di dalam upaya pemberantasan korupsi dari kacamata lembaga ini. Sejumlah hambatan-hambatan itu, sejumlah persoalan itulah kita hadapkan kepada mereka.
A presidential candidate, Anies Baswedan, is committed to prioritize development in Sorong, southwest Papua, should he be elected as president.
Meanwhile, presidential candidate Ganjar Pranowo expressed his appreciation of female workers and their resilience in Kendal, Central Java.
Anies Baswedan and his entourage were welcomed with a traditional dance upon their arrival at a settlement of the Kokoda tribe in Sorong's Rufei village. Baswedan highlighted the lack of proper housing in the village during his visit. However, he lauded locals for living in harmony.
Kami ingin menyampaikan kepada Bapak, Ibu, semuanya bahwa kami sekarang berjuang untuk bisa melakukan perubahan supaya ini yang berkali-kali kami sampaikan, membesarkan yang kecil tanpa mengecilkan yang besar.
Meanwhile, presidential candidate Ganjar Pranowo visited a number of manufacturers in Kendal, Central Java on Wednesday afternoon. During his visit, Pranowo appreciated all female workers and people with disabilities who are always eager to work. He also added the importance of support in various industries and global uncertainty, amid global uncertainties.
Di
jenis pekerja ini yang menarik, lihat sebagian besar, hampir semuanya perempuan. Saya sedang melihat perempuan-perempuan tangguh, di mana mereka punya keluarga, jadi ada ibu hamil, maka kita pastikan mereka kesehatannya tidak terganggu. Yang kedua tentu di tengah bisnis dunia yang belum baik, ini masih bisa survive. Maka saya titip juga kepada perusahaan, kepada kawan-kawan dari buruh, agar hubungan industrialnya terjaga. Situasinya sedang tidak enak, tapi kita mesti bangkit bersama untuk bisa mensejahterakan usaha yang dimiliki dari setiap perusahaan.
We move on to the South Kalimantan General Elections Commission, or KPU, has held a voting simulation ahead of the 2024 general elections, which was attended by the local poll administrators and witnesses for the contested parties.
And meanwhile, in Central Jakarta, the KPU also held the same event and involved people with disabilities with the hopes of educating them regarding the voting day on February 14.
The South Kalimantan General Election Commission held a voting simulation on Tuesday evening. The event aims to educate local poll administrators and witnesses on voting and counting procedures.
Jadi kita sudah melakukan simulasi dari modul yang sudah disusun oleh tim KPU RI, dan hari ini kita sudah mencoba untuk memitigasi segala persoalan-persoalan yang mungkin muncul pada saat penghitungan maupun pada saat pemungutan dan penghitungan suara. Alhamdulillah karena di sini juga sudah banyak yang pengalaman, jadi kita sudah setting kemungkinan-kemungkinan yang terjadi, dan ini berupaya untuk kita mitigasi dan kita kembali kepada juknis, juknisnya seperti apa untuk mengatasi kondisi-kondisi seperti tadi yang terjadi di lapangan, dan kemudian kalau misalnya belum diatur oleh juknis, lalu seperti apa solusinya, kita akan jadikan masukan dan kita akan bahas bersama nanti.
The simulation also expected to remind the local poll administrators to continue in providing assistance to all voters, including people with disabilities. Furthermore, in this year's election, voters will be given 5 ballots, with each has different color. South Kalimantan has a total of 3,025,220 electoral roll from 13 regencies. In the meantime, Central Jakarta General Election Commission also held a similar simulation at the city's mayor office on Wednesday morning. The event started at 7 a.m. with reviewing the local poll administrators' readiness in preparing the logistic and practicing the procedures in the voting booth. The people who have listed in the electoral roll were seen standing in line to enter the voting booth. During the simulation, related officials also involved people with disabilities who are listed as voters. Central Jakarta General Election Commission head said that the simulation was held to ensure local poll administrators' readiness and to educate voters about the voting procedures.
Perwakilan. Jadi saya ini mewakili disabilitas. Dengan adanya simulasi itu tentang apa? Gimana aksesnya menggunakan kursi roda gitu kan di tahun 2024 ini yang baru ini lebih kayaknya sih lebih akses daripada yang sebelumnya karena banyak di sebelum memilih sekarang banyak sosialisasi dengan disabilitas tunanetra, tunarungu, di berbagai disabilitas harus hak memilih gitu ya. Apalagi kursi roda jangan sampai naik itu jadi gotong-gotong gitu kan, ada tangganya, harus lebih akses, terus jangan lebih tinggi. Nah kelihatan ini kan lebih agak pendek ya, lebih akses lah. Kalau itu 1 meter gitu kan, atau 60 cm ininya. Jangan sampai kursi roda kan bermacam-macam disabilitas juga ya. Ada paralegi disabilitasnya, ada disabilitas dari lahir. Jadi menggunakan hak suara itu harus lebih akses. Jangan ada keterpaksaan, terus jangan ada harus menggunakan suaranya masing-masing, jangan ada paksaan.
Furthermore, people were seen enthusiastic and appreciate the event as it will help them a lot. Related official hopes that the 2024 general elections on February 14 will run smooth without any difficulties. See Today contributors reporting from South Kalimantan and Jakarta.
We still have one more story. A 4-person multinational space crew is set to fly to the International Space Station on a private astronaut mission.
SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket and Dragon capsule will be launched later today from NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida. Let's take a look.
A 4-person multinational space crew is set to go on a private mission to the International Space Station. The crew is slated to launch on a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket and Dragon capsule with a targeted liftoff on January 17th from NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida. The 4-person crew will be led by former NASA astronaut Michael Lopez Alegria. Also on board are pilot Walter Villaday of the Italian Air Force, Alper Gezerafci of Turkey, Marcus Vandt of Sweden, and the European Space Agency.
Like AX-1 and AX-2 before it, these are what we call precursor missions. So the idea is for us to establish the processes and the organizations operationally within the company to be able to sustain human spaceflight missions.
Gezerafci, who will become the first Turkish astronaut to go to space, called this mission the crowning of his career.
As a person who had to limit his dreams all the way from beginning relating to the space, and which was limited with the sky that I could see with my bare eyes, that is not a result for our future generations. Now their path is open, and this space flight is not a destination of our journey. This is just the beginning.
AX-3 crew members will spend 2 weeks aboard the space station, conducting more than 30 experiments, including research on stem cells, biological processes, and other microgravity studies. NASA has gradually opened the space station to commercial agencies like Axiom in recent years. Axiom plans to use some of the investigation findings to help pave the way for the company's own commercial space station sometime in the next decade.
We want that commercial space station to be a destination not only for the users of the ISS today, but also many more people, as I mentioned, entities, researchers, countries around the world. So we're sort of building the market for those missions in the future. And fundamentally, it really gets back to developing the organic capability within the company to do human spaceflight, which, despite how I hope we make it look easy, is actually very, very complicated.
The AX-3 mission will be Houston-based Axiom Space's third crewed mission, with a fourth planned later on this year.
And soon, civilization is ready to go to space. We're going for a quick break for this hour, but when we come back, we'll again have the latest from Southeast Asia and around the world.
And later during the hour, I'll bring you again the latest from the world of business.
And sport with me, so keep it right here on the Travel Show today.
The beauty and the excitement of being there.
Indescribable to lose such an iconic, historical, and magnificent.
Let's take a look around, shall we? Come on in. We found them.
Where people come and go.
A cup of tea, a perfect way to end your day. Come see the beauty only on See Indonesia.
I love this atmosphere. Woo! Heading to Gili Trawangan. And this is the travel note, because life is dope.
Their existence is now being critically endangered.
Dia memiliki ekor yang sangat panjang, jauh lebih panjang daripada badannya sendiri.
Tekniknya dia keluar, dia itu bergelombol menggunakan punggung temannya untuk naik.
Sebenarnya konservasi burung hantu di sini latar belakangnya jelas asas manfaat. Jadi kita pengen melestarikan burung, melestarikan satwa, tapi juga otomatis dampaknya ke masyarakat yang khususnya sekarang kalau di sini kan petani.
Hey there, buddies! Welcome back to another episode of Buddy Talk.
Enggak. Dia hostnya, kita co-hostnya.
It's better to be overdressed than underdressed. That's actually a good hack, because I used to live in Canada. That was our trick.
Point to Manado on the smash. I'm horrible. I told you I'm bad.
Dikira dengan banyaknya informasi itu kan jadi makin gampang gitu nulis.
Iya.
Tapi ternyata susah banget. Ke Binjai mau migrasi.
Cakep.
Anjay, aku deportasi.
Ya, aku cuma mau bilang hari ini kamu tuh cantik loh.
Aduh ya Allah. Oke lah kalau penampilan dia nggak sebaik itu, nggak sebagus itu, nggak seganteng itu, tapi itu hatinya dia sebaik itu dan tidak ada orang yang pernah gue temuin hatinya sebaik Mars.
Pemain.
Indonesia, Southeast Asia, and the world. Rise and shine, everyone. A brand new start to a brand new month and a brand new week. Good morning.
Good morning. It's a deja vu. Good.
It's like deja vu. It's like with sports, entertainment as well.
It is time for Steve Today with Business with me, Caroline. All right, guys. See Indonesia, see the world, see today.
Welcome back to the 3 Hour News Show. That's on See Today. Now it's time to bring about news from the region. Let's start in Singapore, where Singapore's Finance Ministry has announced that its citizens will be receiving assurance packages from the government to assist them with rising living costs and inflation.
Elderly citizens in particular will receive extra packages from the Finance Ministry.
The Finance Ministry made this announcement on its website and its various social media accounts on January 15th. The announcement detailed that the assurance package will involve cash, discounts, vouchers, and MediSave top-ups.
The program primarily aims to help with the rising cost of living, goods and services tax, and inflation.
The website detailed every Singaporean, excluding those aged 20 to 55, will receive 150 Singaporean dollars in their MediSave accounts. This amounts to about $112 US. The recipients amount to around 2 million Singaporeans.
Additional lower-income Singaporeans above the age of 55 will receive up to 300 Singaporean dollars from February 2024. When converted, the amount is about $226 US.
Now, this financial aid program was proposed back in 2020 to aid with rising goods and service taxes. The disbursement is part of a continuation of a program started last year and is to conclude in 2025.
In 2023, Deputy Prime Minister Wong Hu is also the Finance Minister announced that 1.1 billion cost of living packages will be given to Singaporeans. And finally, the Finance Ministry website has also detailed steps to receive the monetary support by providing necessary links. Let's continue to the Philippines, where President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. on Monday said that 11.12 billion pesos has been prepared for specialty medical centers in 2024.
This policy follows the Act of Specialty Centers in Department of Health hospitals that were signed back on August 24th, 2023.
Additionally, the Act mandates specialty centers in Department of Health hospitals and government-owned or controlled corporation specialty hospitals throughout the nation.
Moreover, the specialty centers include physical rehabilitation, infectious disease and tropical medicine, orthopedic care, toxicology, mental health, dermatology, geriatric care, neonatal, eye, nose, and throat care. The Act has established 131 specialty centers throughout the Philippines since December 2023.
Noong August 24, 2023, pinirmahan ko ang Republic Act number 11959, known as the Regional Specialty Centers Act. Ito yung mga ating specialty centers, specialty hospitals. sa iba't ibang lugar. As of December 2023, we have established 131 specialty centers nationwide. Nakapagbigay tayo ng 11.12 billion for 2024 para makapagpatayo pa tayo ng mga specialty centers sa iba't ibang lugar. Marami na rin tayong ginawa sa ilalim ng programang Doctors to the Barangays. Itong programa na ito ay in-expand to 204 out of 218 municipalities naman. Ang katumbas niyan ay 91% na ng municipalities ay masasabi nating may nag-aalaga na doktor. Kaya napaka-importante nito. Patuloy pa itong programang ito para naman masabi natin na talaga natin binabantayan ang kalusugan ng ating mga mga.
Now, the government of Thailand has introduced a special visa for foreigners and tourists keen to study Muay Thai in the country.
And this unique Muay Thai visa is expected to serve as an instrument of soft power in promoting Thai culture.
On January 14th, Prime Minister Srettha Thavisin mentioned on his X account that the Thai government supports the country's soft power strategy by announcing special visas designed for foreigners seeking Muay Thai training.
Foreigners visiting Thailand can stay for 60 days with a regular tourist visa. With the Muay Thai visa, they can extend their stay up to 90 days.
In addition to attracting foreign enthusiasts, the government of Thailand aims to elevate the standards of Muay Thai training and enhance trainer competence by providing certification training.
There are currently over 4,000 Muay Thai training centers all over the world. Many foreign participants engage in Muay Thai competition held in Thailand. The Muay Thai visa is also expected to attract a large number of tourists who are eager to experience Thailand's rich culture and learn martial art.
This is certainly really interesting. I think it's going to be very, very attractive because thousands of foreigners from all around the world come to Thailand just for Muay Thai
experience.
Yeah, they start from 1 day to 3 days to 1 week to even fighting in Thailand.
Mhm.
Foreigners fight in Thailand, you know, and they can stay there for up to 60 days.
And from this visa, it will extend until 90 days.
Exactly. So there you go. If you're a Muay Thai enthusiast, that's an option for you. Now we move on to the next story from Indonesia. Now, a media day was held for the training of train drivers for Whoosh, the first high-speed railway in Indonesia and the fastest in Southeast Asia.
Our news team was able to witness the training for the first group of Indonesian train drivers candidates and filmed the following report.
Here I am at the Indonesia-China High-Speed Railway, or KCIC, Tegaluar Depot, where today it is the media day, and we got to see the simulator or the training for the first Indonesian candidate to become the Whoosh train driver. And what we just see is actually the simulator box, where this simulator, they showed us about how do they operate Whoosh. The simulator, this one is Karawang to Stasiun Halim within Jakarta, which this as well, that what is interesting is that they showed the obstacle, how Whoosh can handle the obstacle, and every season, rain, and then also sunny, and also the snow as well. So from that, the candidate is trained to be able to know how to handle every obstacle and also every season. And this is the first group for the Indonesian candidate to become the train driver for Whoosh, which from here they have to pass the practical training, and later on they will get the certificate from EMU, or the electrical multiple units, which later they will able to operate the Whoosh, which the target is by next year. From Tegaluar, West Java, Reski Anasto, and Ferry Ahmad for See Today.
Move on On to Indonesia still. The government, through various ministries and state-owned enterprises or SOEs, have inaugurated the Rumah Bersama or Indonesia Energy Transition Joint House in South Jakarta.
The inauguration of this Rumah Bersama was overseen by the government to expedite Indonesia energy transition project. The government is hoping for Indonesia to achieve net zero emission by 2060.
State-owned electricity company PT PLN inaugurated the Rumah Bersama project as part of Indonesia energy transition in Kebayoran Baru, South Jakarta. The joint office between 6 ministries and institutions in Indonesia and state-owned enterprises aims to host discussion on energy transition policies in Indonesia and to prepare roadmap for net zero target in 2060. Deputy at the Office of Coordinating Maritime Affairs and Investment Ministry stated that this project is deemed necessary to coordinate all involved stakeholders to formulate energy transition policies.
Alhamdulillah, hari ini kita telah menyaksikan peresmian dari Rumah Bersama untuk Satgas Tim Transisi Energi Nasional, khususnya di bidang ketenaga listrikan. Tentunya ini adalah momentum yang sangat baik, karena dari sini ini niatnya adalah untuk menyatukan berbagai hal yang kita perlukan untuk melaksanakan transisi energi. Misalnya dari sisi teknis, dari sisi keuangan, dari sisi kebijakan. Oleh karena itu kita membentuk tentunya tim-timnya dari berbagai kementerian, lembaga dan juga dari BUMN yang bisa menyatukan itu.
Meanwhile, the state-owned electricity company President Director Darmawan Prasojo mentioned that this task force is very crucial and can help the government in facing challenges in energy transition and to support the move with its regulations. The decision-making process must involve various international institutions, starting from Just Energy Transition Program or JETP, and ASEAN Zero Emission Community or AZEC.
Tentu saja dalam hal ini PLN merasakan terbantu sekali dengan adanya kekompakan dari seluruh stakeholder ini, maka perjalanan menghadapi tantangan transition of energy itu semua permasalahan bisa dipetakan dan diurai secara bersama-sama sehingga transition of energy ini bisa berjalan dengan lancar. Tentu saja ini banyak sekali platform internasional yang menjadi bagian kekuatan dari transition of energy. Ada JETP, Just Energy Transition Program, kemudian ada AZEC kemudian dari Jepang, ASEAN Zero Emission Community, kemudian juga dari berbagai dunia internasional, dan ini perlu clearing house, dan disinilah ada clearing house baik itu dari sudut pandang kebijakan, dari sudut pandang teknis, dari komersial, dan juga dari korporasi.
Indonesian government is poised to achieve the net zero emissions target by 2060. Andre Saputra for C Today.
What a great initiative. We'll certainly achieve more and much faster goals by working together.
Of course.
Yeah, what an initiative. We're going for another break.
And after the break, Maria will there for some economics and also business updates. Maria, what do you have for us?
Yes, first of all, I want to ask you guys, do you think the pandemic has caused the rich to get richer and the poor to get poorer?
I have to.
It's a tricky question because during the pandemic, there's a lot of new rich people.
Yes. Well, according to the anti-poverty organization Oxfam, the pandemic has caused significant inequality, and they released a report called Inequality Incorporated. And they also stated that the world is set to see its first trillionaire in a decade.
Okay, interesting.
Yes, very interesting, right? After a break, we're going to take a look at this update, and of course, we're going to see some other business updates. Stay here only on Triano Show on C Today.
Asian flavors is gaining more popularity around the world in the last decade. Personally love this, not just because it is familiar for our palate, but because the airiness, the textures of the youtiao, it's completely different when baguette. So with those appetites and with those pleasure-driven people, Menteng is a very special place for restaurant.
Ke Binjai mau migrasi. Cakep. Anjay, aku depot sih.
Ya aku cuma mau bilang hari ini kamu tuh cantik loh.
Aduh ya Allah.
Oke lah kalau penampilan dia nggak sebaik itu, nggak sebagus itu, nggak seganteng itu, tapi itu hatinya dia sebaik itu dan tidak ada orang yang pernah gue temuin hatinya sebaik Mars.
Pemain.
I love this atmosphere. Woo! Heading to Gili Trawangan. And this is the travel note because life is dope.
Their existence is now being critically endangered.
Dia memiliki ekor yang sangat panjang, jauh lebih panjang daripada badannya sendiri.
Tekniknya dia itu bergelombol menggunakan punggung temannya untuk naik.
Sebenarnya konservasi burung hantu di sini latar belakangnya jelas asas manfaat. Jadi kita pengen melestarikan burung, melestarikan satwa, tapi juga otomatis dampaknya ke masyarakat yang khususnya sekarang kalau di sini kan petani.
Good morning, Indonesia, Southeast Asia, and the world. Rise and shine, everyone. A brand new start to a brand new month and a brand new week. Here at
Good morning. Good morning. It's a deja vu. Good.
Deja vu. It's like with sports, entertainment as well.
It is time for Steve Today with Business with me, Caroline Sarakumada. All right, guys. See Indonesia, see the world, see today.
Group of volunteers operating in south of the city has united to assist displaced children in a refugee camp in Rafah in overcoming the trauma of war. The volunteers come from diverse professional backgrounds and share expertise in working with young people.
Welcome back to Spotlight, ladies and gentlemen, where we bring you guys some of the sports that you guys can go play here in Indonesia.
Handball karena masih baru, tadi kita harus bisa juga mempopulerkan ini kepada masyarakat sampai ke bawah.
We do it from scratch at the time because we don't know ice hockey, how to play, how to develop, how to manage this sport.
You don't have to be good with your foot. You can just dribble the ball and just throw it to the full ball.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Welcome back to 3 Hour Show on See Today. It's time for me again to deliver to you some business updates from Indonesia, Southeast Asia, and beyond. We're going to start with the Association of Indonesia Automotive Sole Agents, Gaikindo, that reported a surge in wholesale electric vehicle sales with nearly 70,000 units sold in 2023. The hybrid electric vehicles dominated the market, accounting for 75% of total EV sales, while pure BEV constituted for 24% of the market.
The Association of Indonesia Automotive Sole Agents, or Gaikindo, reported a significant surge in wholesale electric vehicle sales, totaling 69,763 units in 2023. This marked a remarkable 237.3% increase compared to 2022. The majority of these sales were dominated by hybrid electric vehicles, which combine fuel-powered and electric battery-powered engines. Over 52,500 hybrid EVs were sold in 2023, accounting for 75% of total EV sales in the country. In contrast, purely battery electric vehicles accounted for 17,000 units, representing 24% of the total sales. Additionally, 137 units of plug-in hybrids were sold last year. Despite this, all types of electric vehicles experienced a substantial increase in sales compared to 2022. Hybrid EV sales, for example, grew from 5,100 units in 2022 to over 52,000 last year, seeing a 164% increase. Similarly, battery EV sales in 2023 increased by 65% compared to the previous year. Toyota and Suzuki dominated the sales in the hybrid EV market in 2023. Toyota's Innova Zenix Q Modelista hybrids, with over 13,500 units sold, led the sales charts, while other models of the Toyota Innova Zenix EV series comprised the top 3 most sold. Suzuki's XL7 Alpha Hybrid EV secured the 4th spot in the rankings. Meanwhile, Hyundai and Wuling dominated the sales of pure battery EVs last year. Hyundai Ioniq 5 signature model topped the list with over 6,300 units sold. Meanwhile, various models of the Wuling Air EV were among the top 5 best-selling BEVs in Indonesia.
Now we're going to the business update highlight for this hour. It's about the anti-poverty organization called Oxfam International that stated the world is set to see its first trillionaire in the decade. This is according to Oxfam's latest report titled Inequality Incorporated, which was released in January this year ahead of the 54th annual meeting of the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland.
In a recent report, Oxfam International says the world will see its first trillionaire within a decade. According to the report, titled Inequality Incorporated, Oxfam estimates that the wealth of the world's 5 richest men has more than doubled in 4 years' time, or since the pandemic struck in early 2020. Oxfam says that we are now entering a decade of division. In contrast to the rapid rise in wealth among billionaires, poverty will need more than 200 years to combat, while 800 million workers are currently struggling to keep up with inflation.
We saw that since 2020, and that's why we are calling it a decade of division, you've seen the billionaires add almost $3 trillion to their wealth. And on the other hand, 800 million workers in this world have not been able to have wages which match up to the inflation. So it's really a combination of factors, which is essentially about we would say how these corporate monopoly powers are controlling the market, dodging taxes, squeezing workers, plundering Mother Earth, and privatizing state resources.
In contrast, the organization estimates that nearly 5 billion people, or more than half the world's population, have become even poorer, many of them in developing countries.
In this world where you're actually adding more people who are sleeping hungry, as we already said that there are 5 billion people who have probably become poorer now. And in that context, to have a trillionaire is unimaginable. And I would say it's very important to underscore that it's a massive policy and political failure of the economic system that we have created. If we had really elevated poverty, maybe we should have been celebrating that. But to have a trillionaire within a decade when we cannot do away with poverty for 200 years is totally unacceptable. And I think it's really a fundamental choice that we need to make.
This is exacerbated by geopolitical disruptions, as Russia's invasion of Ukraine since February 2022 has led to soaring energy and food prices worldwide, increasing inflation, leading to a cost of living crisis worldwide. The latest report from Oxfam International comes as the WEF calls for greater cooperation at its annual meeting amid unprecedented geopolitical and geo-economic changes.
And that has wrapped up the economics and business updates for this hour. When we return, Aris will again bring you the latest from the world of sports, so stay tuned.
Asian flavors is gaining more popularity around the world in the last decade. Personally love this, not just because it is familiar for our palate, but because the airiness, the textures of the youtiao, it's completely different than baguette. So with those appetite and with those pleasure-driven people, Menteng is a very special place for restaurant.
Hey there, buddies! Welcome back to another episode of Buddy Talk.
Enggak, dia hostnya, kita co-hostnya.
It's better to be overdressed than underdressed. That's actually a good hack, because I used to live in Canada. That was our trick.
Point to Manado on the smash. I'm horrible. I told you I'm bad.
Dikira dengan banyaknya informasi itu kan jadi makin gampang gitu nulisnya.
Iya.
Tapi ternyata susah banget.
I love this atmosphere. Woo! Heading to Gili Trawangan. Olympics, and this is the travel note because life is dope.
Anjay, mau migrasi. Anjay, aku depot sih.
Ya aku cuma mau bilang hari ini kamu tuh cantik loh.
Oke lah kalau penampilan dia nggak sebaik itu, nggak sebagus itu, nggak seganteng itu, tapi itu hatinya dia sebaik itu dan tidak ada orang yang pernah gue temuin hatinya sebaik Mars.
Pemain.
A group of volunteers operating in south of the city has united to assist displaced children in a refugee camp in Rafah in overcoming the trauma of war. The volunteers come from diverse professional backgrounds and share expertise in working with young people.
Good morning, Indonesia, Southeast Asia, and the world. Rise and shine, everyone. A brand new start to a brand new month and a brand new week.
Good morning. Good morning. It's like deja vu. Good.
Like deja vu. It's like with sports, entertainment as well.
It is time for See Today with Business with me, Caroline. All right, guys. See Indonesia, see the world, see today.
Their existence is now being critically endangered.
Dia memiliki ekor yang sangat panjang, lebih panjang, jauh lebih panjang daripada badannya sendiri.
Tekniknya dia keluar dia itu bergelombol menggunakan punggung temannya untuk naik.
Sebenarnya konservasi burung hantu di sini latar belakangnya jelas asas manfaat. Jadi kita pengen melestarikan burung, melestarikan satwa, tapi juga otomatis dampaknya ke masyarakat yang khususnya sekarang kalau di sini kan petani.
Welcome back to the Travel Show. It's time for another sports update. Russian qualifiers Maria Timofeeva advanced to the third round of Australian Open after defeating Dane wildcard Caroline Wozniak, won 6-6, 6-4, 6-1 at Melbourne Park yesterday. The world number 170 Timofeeva will now face the winner of the match between compatriot Alina Kornieva and 10th seeded Beatriz Haddad Maia of Brazil in the next round. Prior to this victory, the 20-year-old Russian defeated France wildcard Alizé Cornet 6-4, 6-2, 6-4. Meanwhile, the world number 252 Wozniacki benefited from the retirement of the 20th seeded Polish Magda Linette 6-2, 2-0 in the previous round.
Yeah, thank you. I'm really a bit speechless now. It was an honor for me to play here against Caroline today. And honestly, I was going on the match without any expectations, just to show what I'm capable of and yeah, to see how the match goes. And it was really great. I enjoyed every second of it.
Sixth-seeded Ons Jabeur is out of the Australian Open in the second round after she was eliminated by 16-year-old Mira Andreeva 6-0, 6-2 on Wednesday. The teenager, who was runner-up in the junior event here last year, took advantage of 24 unforced errors by last year's Wimbledon runner-up as she won in just 54 minutes. Andreeva also had the distinction of being the first player through to the third round at Melbourne Park this year. The match was played under the roof at the Rod Laver Arena, with rain causing the start of matches on the outside courts to be delayed for several hours.
Game cover.
Of course, I'm happy I played with Ons. It was one of my dreams to play against her because I really like the way she plays, and as I said before, I'm inspired by her, and so it means a lot. Today it meant a lot, this match that I won, and I'm excited, yeah. Probably it was the best match. The first set, as I said, I didn't expect that I would play this good. Second set was also not bad. So yes, for me it was an amazing match, and I'm super happy with the level that I showed today on the court.
In the next update, Sebastian Loeb clocked up his 27th stage win on Tuesday, moving in the 2024 Dakar Rally. Meanwhile, in the big category, Kadrian Van Beveren secured the stage win, finishing just 32 seconds ahead of Ricky Brabec.
Sebastian Loeb secured his 27th stage win in the Dakar Rally after triumphing in the 9th stage. The victory saw Loeb consolidate second place in the overall standings, but remains 20 minutes and 33 seconds behind the current leader, Carlos Sainz. In the bikes category, Adrian Van Beveren claimed the stage win after finishing just 32 seconds ahead of the overall leader, Ricky Brabec. Brabec maintains a 7 minutes and 9 seconds lead over his closest rival, Ross Branch, while Van Beveren is 11 minutes and 20 seconds off the pace. Stage 10 has seen participants in Al Ula covering 612 kilometers on Wednesday, with the final scheduled on Friday.
AS Roma coach Jose Mourinho has been sacked by Giallorossi, and this followed the club's poor performance this season, including the recent losses against AC Milan in the league and the Lazio in the Italian Cup.
AS Roma announced on Tuesday that Jose Mourinho is leaving the club with immediate effect, ending a times successful but also turbulent stay in the Italian capital for the veteran coach. This follows 2 days after a 3-1 loss against AC Milan, which left Roma in 9th place in Serie A and at risk of missing the Champions League for a 6th straight season. Roma was also eliminated by Lazio in an Italian Cup derby last week. Mourinho was in his 3rd season at Roma, and his contract was due to expire in June. He led the Giallorossi to the UEFA Conference League title in his 1st season, and Roma became the Europa League finalist last season. However, Mourinho was also given a series of bans for his protests and triads against referees, which was not appreciated by Roma's American owners. Mourinho was banned by UEFA from 4 European games for verbally abusing the Europa League final referee in a stadium garage after Roma lost to Sevilla. He was also suspended for the game at Milan on Sunday due to protests. Roma added that the updates on the coaching staff will follow imminently. Former Roma captain Daniel De Rossi is being mentioned as a possible caretaker, while there have been reports that ownership is trying to hire Antonio Conte for the next season.
And that's a wrap for sport for now, but when we return we have more information, including our signature segment, See the Stories. So keep it right here on The Travel Insurance Today.
The beauty and the excitement of being there.
Indescribable through such an iconic, historical, and magnificent.
Let's take a look around, shall we? Come on in. We found them.
Where people come and go.
A cup of tea, a perfect way to end your day. Come see the beauty, only on See Indonesia.
Their existence is now being critically endangered.
Dia memiliki ekor yang sangat panjang, jauh lebih panjang daripada badannya sendiri.
Tekniknya dia keluar dia itu bergelombol menggunakan punggung temannya untuk naik.
Sebenarnya konservasi burung hantu di sini latar belakangnya jelas asas manfaat. Jadi kita pengen melestarikan burung, melestarikan satwa, tapi juga otomatis dampaknya ke masyarakat yang khususnya sekarang kalau di sini kan petani.
Hey there, buddies! Welcome back to another episode of Buddy Talk.
Enggak, dia hostnya, kita co-hostnya.
It's better to be overdressed than underdressed. That's actually a good hack, because I used to live in Canada. That was our trick.
Point to Manado on the smash. I'm horrible. I told you I'm bad.
Dikira dengan banyaknya informasi itu kan jadi makin gampang gitu nulis.
Iya.
Tapi ternyata susah banget.
makes me indulge in the company of your own kind.
A group of volunteers operating in south of the city has united to assist displaced children in a refugee camp in Rafah in overcoming the trauma of war. The volunteers come from diverse professional backgrounds and share expertise in working with young people.
Ke Binjai mau migrasi. Anjay, aku deportasi.
Ya aku cuma mau bilang hari ini kamu tuh cantik ya.
Oke lah kalau penampilan dia nggak sebaik itu, nggak sebagus itu, nggak seganteng itu, tapi itu hatinya dia sebaik itu dan tidak ada orang yang pernah gue temuin hatinya sebaik Mars.
Pemain.
Good morning, Indonesia, Southeast Asia, and the world. Rise and shine, everyone. A brand new start to a brand new month and a brand new week. Here at
Good morning. Good morning. It's a deja vu. Good.
It's like deja vu. It's like with sports, entertainment as well.
It is time for See Today with Business with me, Caroline. All right, guys. See Indonesia, see the world, see today.
Hello to our viewers. Welcome back to the final hour. It is time for See the Stories, where we share you special stories. You're still with me, Kai Surya.
And I'm Era Satya. For the latest updates, you can also follow us on X, Instagram, and also YouTube at City News. Also with us,
I'm Maria Harfanti. Before anything else, let's see what's making headlines for today.
From the Korean Peninsula, Kim Jong-un has warned of war in a speech to a meeting of his country's parliament as relations between North and South Korea are at a new low.
The Association of Indonesia Automotive Sole Agents, Gaikindo, reported a surge in wholesale electric vehicle sales with nearly 70,000 units sold in 2023.
the latest in the 2024 Dakar Rally sees Sebastian Loeb clock up his 27th stage win, while Adrian van Beveren secure a similar win in the bike category.
And in just a moment in our See the Story segment, we'll have a discussion on how to raise awareness of cage-free production of eggs. Welcome back to See the Stories. Now, welcome to See the Stories. It is our signature segment and the final hour of the 3-hour news show, as always. Now, Aris, do you like to consume eggs?
I do like, because it's really cheap protein source for me. And also for my daughter, it's really, she likes it. It's boiled or cooked in the noodle especially.
Ah, so eggs in general.
Eggs, yeah.
For some reason, my daughter doesn't like eggs very much, but I do. So what about eggs?
And speaking about eggs contain protein that are good for our body, and it is better if the eggs come from chicken that live cage-free. And nowadays, many people try to campaign about cage-free eggs production, including Cage-Free Indonesia organization.
Cage-Free Indonesia is an organization who wants to raise awareness to the public about the welfare of farmed animals, particularly eggs-laying hens, while avoiding the cruel battery cage system here in Indonesia.
And according to research, eggs that come from hens in cage-free have better quality of protein.
And to know more about this campaign, we now have Cage-Free Indonesia Campaign Program Manager Diani Probosiwi. Good afternoon, Diani.
Good afternoon.
Thank you so much for coming.
No, thank you for inviting me here.
No, this was funnily recently a topic that I found very interesting on my social media. It appeared to me, and I never really understood exactly the details, right? So first of all, can you please elaborate on the concept of cage-free eggs production?
Okay. So, in order to answer that question, I need to explain that this system is mainly used for the laying hens, to keep laying hens. So, so it is the system that kept hens, not in a cage. So they can roam freely, and they are not kept in a like tiny
Small
cage,
space,
small space. But there are several types of cage-free system. So we have like postal where there's only one room, one floor, and the floor is covered by by litter, and then we have veranda like where they have indoor access and then outdoor access, and also the transit area for the chickens. And then we have like a free range, also indoor and outdoors, and then pasture where they can like maybe that's the system that you imagine as most people imagine chicken run freely in the outdoors area and they come inside at night to protect themselves from the predators. So but that's
not reality.
Yeah, that's not common in Indonesia and also in maybe in Asia.
So like get me wrong, the common practice is for egg-laying hens to be kept in a confined space.
Yeah.
So if you lay eggs, you stay there from the beginning of production until reproduction until they want to lay their eggs.
Yep. So the common system that used for the laying hens is battery cage. So we can say that more than 80% or almost 90% of the eggs production come from the battery cage. Battery cage, why we call it battery cage? Because the shape is like battery. They stand side by side, like every individual just has a room to move like as big as a sheet of paper. A4 paper. So they the productive phase of the laying hens is 2 until 3 years, and they are kept in that space
for 2 to 3 years.
Yes, yeah. Can you imagine that? Yeah.
So for 2 or 3 years, they're there. They're just there. They don't walk out. Yeah. They don't.
Just sit and lay egg.
Yeah. So
do plenty Indonesian farmers still do that? The battery cage method.
Yeah. It's more than 80%, like I said before, yeah, almost 90%, yeah, in Indonesia.
Wow. Can you perhaps explain to us why? Is it lack of education, lack of knowledge, or is there a cost that perhaps comes with having to provide this cage-free egg production environment?
Yeah, it also do education. We educate them, and then the cost, yes, the cost. Indeed, it's a big challenge, but what most people don't understand is there's a hidden cost behind it. So it's maybe not common in animal issue, the hidden cost, but it's pretty common in, for example, fashion industry. The hidden cost is, for example, the cost that people have to pay because they damage the environment, the gas emission and something like that. And for the battery cage system, the hidden cost is the suffering of the laying hens.
So if they're not happy, they lay less quality. Like less quality kind of eggs. So okay, can you talk me through the reproduction system of a reproduction cycle of a hen? Because in order for a hen to be able to reproduce, she has to meet with the right? How can they keep a hen like for 2 to 3 years in the same space and it doesn't come out? And how does she keep on laying the eggs? And she needs to poo. She needs to, you know what I mean? She needs to. That's like an environment that affects our food.
Yeah. So yeah, they do that in the same space in that area. I mean, in the wild chicken, like many years ago, they only initially they only lay eggs like 10 to 15 times per year. But nowadays, they lay hens almost every day. Can you imagine the genetic mutation that they have gone through, and that because they always lay hens every day, sometimes there's they get disease from the
reproductive diseases.
Yeah, something like that. And also, other especially for battery cage, they have other higher risk for that, a higher risk of disease like osteoporosis and weak of the bones because they cannot move, and also the fatty liver syndrome and something like that compared to the chickens in the cage free.
I heard that they also receive different foods. Is that true?
Well, the different food actually, it's not really. I can't say that they 100% different from cage-free because it depends on the farmers. But it is a common practice that farmers sometimes use antibiotics that is not as suggested by the fed. So they use it without not in the right amount. That's sometimes they use that, but it's not always. Yeah.
Well, your organization also voice how to battery cage to be stopped. What is the challenges to transition from the battery cage into cage free, and how can it can be addressed?
Okay, so actually we have the challenges. We have a lot of challenges from the public, of course, because they have. It's like you said earlier, like it's the cheapest protein, and then also from the producer. But that's why we have approaches, so many approaches, not so many, like 4 or 5 approaches. We do government outreach, we do producer outreach, we do corporate outreach, and then we also do public outreach and a little bit of academic outreach. And we try to create demand. So we come to corporates. We we encourage them to, we educate them first about what is cage-free, and then we encourage them to apply a better system in their supply chain. And then, yeah, that's why we create demand, so that the farmers will be motivated to supply the corporates. Yeah.
So far, how is the response from the government, the producer, even the consumer?
Yeah. Actually, I can say that it's pretty good. It's in the challenging. So today we have 31 commitments in Indonesia. That's including the global commitment. So we do. We're not alone. We do coalition in Indonesia. We have coalition with Synergia Animal. We call it Act for Farm Animals, and we also have coalition in Asia, also globally. So and in Yogyakarta alone, we have 16 commitments. So our goal is to make commitments, and then we follow up for whether or not they really fulfill their promise to the consumers. And then we also do public outreach, and so far the response is pretty good. I mean, most of them don't know where the eggs come from, like I say earlier, like they imagine a happy life of chickens, but when we educate them, we give them survey, and they found out that, oh my God, this is what really happened. And yeah, we also do street action and something like that, and that's a way to spread the awareness for the public. Yeah.
Well, talking about creating demand, right? Can you tell us about the benefits as a consumer point of view, the benefits of consuming cage-free, eggs from cage-free hens, in contrast to versus to the normal or traditional way of keeping them in the battery cage?
First of all, the benefit is if you don't consume eggs from the place that apply a cruel system, it is a statement that you don't support cruelty, that you support animal welfare. Sorry, in order to answer that question, I need to explain that our organization is an animal protection. We really care. We care a lot about the rights for animals as individuals to live. And to achieve that, we need to address their welfare, right? So, and cage-free is one of the way. So if if consumers don't consume eggs from battery cage, so yeah, they support us, they support our movement. And then also we have a study from European Food Safety from 2019. It's battery cage possess higher risk of salmonella contamination, and we know that salmonella is very dangerous.
Because there's a higher risk of infection in the battery cage system.
It's dangerous and has caused like thousands of deaths every year. I mean, the salmonella.
So there has been research that has showed that nutritional-wise, cage-free eggs from cage-free hens has much more nutritional value than from conventional eggs. So is that true?
Well, actually, we need to do more research on that. I can say that it is true now, but maybe if we have more research, we can prove it. Maybe we can. That's why we need the role of government. Maybe if government want to fund this kind of research, that's also good, and we can also, yeah.
Well, certainly interesting. So. Yeah.
You first.
No, I got. Well, I'm really interested in the research.
Okay, so you already talked about the consumer. How your organization educate the consumer? You already stated that you already outreach them, and how you educated them to understand if cage-free is better maybe than the battery cage.
The consumers.
Yeah, the consumer.
We do public outreach, like we open booth stand in artisan markets. In Yogyakarta, there are a lot of artisan markets, and we go to festivals, and we also held, actually in February last year, we held AFJ Fair. It is a one-day festival where we gather all the businesses in Jogja that have committed to go cage-free, and then we gather them, and then the farmers, the battery cage and the cage-free farmers, and then the public, and then we also have entertainment like music. We invite musicians, national musicians, and then we also do street actions, we saw earlier, holding posters, and we also have try the cage. We do social experiment where we play video of battery cage, and people go inside and they will feel how it feels like to be in a cage, just for 3 minutes. Some of them cry because they really imagine how sad the life of the laying hens. And
for 2 to 3 years, having to stay in a cage, not moving much, that's cause for injury.
Compared to 3 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, the position of a hen to have to lay the egg is like sitting, right? So can you imagine if you have to sit in a small space for 2 to 3 years? You get pins and needles, you probably overstretch a couple of muscles and things like that. For a human being, that would be excruciatingly painful.
Of course.
I mean, even for an hour, that's painful, right? So think about 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, they actually, hence there are 5 freedoms of animal welfare. So freedom from hunger and thirst, freedom from discomfort, freedom from disease, injury and pain, freedom to express the natural behavior, freedom from fear and distress, and maybe the battery cage can fulfill the first freedom for thirst and hunger, but they cannot fulfill the other ones. But in cage-free system, they can at least express their natural behavior, like perching and then preening and nesting, like you said, and then or just to at least to walk and to spread their wings fully.
So, have you met resistance? What is usually the most common cause of resistance when you try to educate farmers? When you educate farmers and producers.
Okay.
What are usually the most common factors of resistance?
So actually resistance, we received 1 or 2 resistance, but actually when we do, we have a regular agenda to visit the farmers, especially in Yogyakarta. Most of them are open and welcome, and actually the main challenge now is not whether or not they want to listen to us, but maybe they are afraid of the market. That's why that's what we are going to do this year. One of the focuses that we want to do is to open the market by by launching a cage-free district. So it is an initiative that we do with our coalition that I mentioned before, Act for Farm Animals. So we are going to make one area that we target the companies. We will ask them, we will educate them, ask them to go cage-free, and then so we really hope that this area can be promoted by the government in terms of tourism and culinary, and yeah.
Has someone done the research of, because we want to transition, right? And as a businesses will have to calculate any additional costs, and of course the cost of the production, the produce itself in the market would be different. So let's say from a conventional egg versus a cage-free egg, right? How much percentage is actually the markup, the difference in price? Has anyone ever done the calculation, an estimation how much that would be?
Well, actually, it depends, you know,
because in order to create the demand, right, you have to make sure that you sell it to the right market, because for now, if there is a huge gap, only certain markets will be able to afford, you know, the cage-free eggs.
Yeah, that's indeed, there will be a gap, of course, but that's indeed the big challenge, and what we can say that we need to make people understand that cage-free possess more value in terms of moral and ethics. So we need to educate the public, and then we educate the companies that that the material, the eggs they use to make profit, you can do better with that. So that's the gap of price is a challenge, but we need to educate about the higher value of cage-free.
Well, it's really interesting indeed. I mean, I for one, if we were in Jakarta, would we be able to find cage-free eggs?
Cage-free eggs in Jakarta. Maybe the closest is in West Java. Sorry. You mean the farms or the...
No, just like the eggs.
Where to buy the cage-free eggs?
Maybe if you go to supermarket, some supermarket provide cage-free eggs, but it's an interesting question because I also need to address this. Maybe we have today we don't really have the labeling.
There's no labels.
Yeah, the labeling system. Yeah, just only some companies do that, and there's also certification. But maybe the government, it's a good idea for the government to make a certification that is affordable. Yeah. And yeah, if they have affordable certification, maybe farmers can be more encouraged to go cage-free.
Yeah, that's something that people would have to put in their costs. But for me, it was just like interested. It's just that, can we find it here in Jakarta as well, where we can find, verified, truly, verified. If there's no certification, at least verified. Verified egg brands or producers of eggs that are truly cage-free. Now, Dinia, thank you so much for coming. And I really, because I recently found this on my social media, I found it very interesting. I wondered if there was such a movement in Indonesia. Well, you know what? Universe, listen to me. I found you came here today to the studio and gave us the information. There is a movement, and you should go if it's possible. If it's already possible for you and if it's accessible, you really should go, cage-free eggs. So is there any last things you would love to say to consumers or producers tuning in right now?
Well, I just want to give a message for the people who watch this. I want you to be more curious about the things that you consume every day, where they come from. I don't ask people to eat, we don't ask people to eat eggs, but we just want people to eat more compassionately. So you have to develop the curiosity inside yourself. Where do everything you eat come from? Not only eggs, but every other thing. Does this one come from cruelty? Does this one come from like suffering of the animals? So do research and individually, be active and be compassionate to all beings. Yeah.
Be curious.
Be curious. Be compassionate.
That's right. So there's a lot that you can add to there. Thank you so much for coming and all the success. And keep us updated if there is a certification or once we can find, cage-free eggs here in Jakarta with listening. Sure. And See the Stories will, of course, continue after the break. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned on 3-Hour News Show and See Today.
Good morning, Indonesia, Southeast Asia, and the world. Rise and shine, everyone. A brand new start to a brand new month and a brand new week.
Good morning. Good morning. It's a deja vu. Good.
Deja vu. It's like with sports, entertainment as well.
It is time for Steve Today with Business with me, Caroline. All right, guys. See Indonesia, see the world, see today.
I love this atmosphere. Woo! Heading to Gili Trawangan. And this is the travel note because life is dope.
A group of volunteers operating in south of the city has united to assist displaced children in a refugee camp in Rafah in overcoming the trauma of war. The volunteers come from diverse professional backgrounds and share expertise in working with young people.
Asian flavors is gaining more popularity around the world in the last decade. Personally love this, not just because it is familiar for our palate, but because the airiness, the textures of the youtiao, it's completely different than baguette. So with those appetites and with those pleasure-driven people, Menteng is a very special place for restaurant.
Ke Binjai mau migrasi. Anjay, aku deportasi.
Ya aku cuma mau bilang hari ini kamu tuh cantik loh.
Aduh ya Allah. Oke lah kalau penampilan dia nggak sebaik itu, nggak sebagus itu, nggak seganteng itu, tapi itu hatinya dia sebaik itu dan tidak ada orang yang pernah gue temuin hatinya sebaik Mars.
Pemain.
Their existence is now being critically endangered.
Dia memiliki ekor yang sangat panjang, lebih panjang, jauh lebih panjang daripada badannya sendiri.
Tekniknya dia keluar dia itu bergelombol menggunakan punggung temannya untuk naik.
Sebenarnya konservasi burung hantu di sini latar belakangnya jelas asas manfaat. Jadi kita pengen melestarikan burung, melestarikan satwa, tapi juga otomatis dampaknya ke masyarakat yang khususnya sekarang kalau di sini kan petani.
Oh, I love this atmosphere. Woo! Heading to Gili Trawangan. And this special episode, I already prepared myself for an adventure on the island, which in the top of the list to visit. And this is the travel note because life is dope.
Hello, welcome back to the Travel Show. Well, we'll continue our talk about animals. So, after our talks earlier, previous segment, have you curious where is your food come from?
Yes, I'm always curious where my food comes from. Yes, because it really does, you know, it really does contribute to your health. Yep, where your food comes from. So whether the beef that you eat is grass-fed organic, whether it's organic or
it's corn fat
Exactly,
or
corn
pasture raised.
Ah,
I mean,
when we're speaking about
grass-fed.
grass-fed organic. Yeah.
Grass-fed or corn fat.
when we're speaking about where's our food come from, maybe this can be inspiration because a couple in South Tangerang, Banten, practice urban sustainability by raising chickens at home. So it will be cage-free.
Yes, because it's
better option.
Yeah, because it's eating from your own produce, right? This practice can reduce waste, produces healthy homegrown food, and the story inspires a similar way of life.
To raise chickens, you don't always need a huge farm. In fact, you can do it at your own house, just like what Soraya Cassandra and Dira Narayana did. The husband and wife built a 7-meter wide and 1.7-meter height cage in their urban house backyard in South Tangerang, Banten. They began raising chickens in 2020 as a sustainable living approach. These chickens help them reduce waste, produce compost, and provide healthy foods.
So I never really imagined that it was possible to raise chickens in the city. It was never in my realm of understanding. I was never aware that this was actually something you could do. I think that's the biggest misconception. I think living in the city is that you're so detached from food, right? So it just comes to you. It's not grown here. No one raises chicken around you, right? So the food that you eat is always available either at the supermarket, the market, and whatnot. And you feel sort of like, okay, maybe it's not supposed to grow in the cities. You're just supposed to get it elsewhere. And I think that's the biggest misconception, is that you actually can grow your food at home. First, we wanted to be able to compost our chicken waste in a way that's more friendly for us, in a way that doesn't require us to do lots of work in terms of producing compost. Second, we wanted to have fresh eggs. And third, we also wanted to have healthy chickens. So we wanted to have healthy chickens so that we can eat healthy chicken at home.
In Sandra and Dira household, all waste is tossed inside the chicken cage every day. The chickens then eat some of it, such as food waste, while discarding the rest, including plastic. After the chickens finish eating, the waste must be covered with dried leaves to prevent a bad smell. As time goes by, this waste will start to decompose. Sandra and Dira separate the soil, and after 3 weeks, it turns into compost. Finally, the compost is used to grow plants in their small garden.
You need to look at your context. So what's the size of plot available to you? What's your timetable like? Are you able to allocate a lot of time? Because that will ultimately tell you the size of your coop, as well as the number of chickens you need that you should own. Because I think people also, you can't forget that this is a living, breathing being that has needs, right? So they need proper shelter, they need proper food, they need healthy water, they need access to sand so that they can preen and they can have their bath. So I think we need to be able to cater to that as well.
Based on their experiences, Sandra and Dira have created a public workshop to help people learn about managing a coop in their own house. In addition, they learn how to give back to nature by taking care of human beings.
So this is Gaga, and Gaga, along with his other chicken friends, is actually teaching us that it is possible to keep pet in your backyard as your pet. And then, aside from them, it is also beneficial because it will help us to start practicing the more sustainable and green living. So we can just try it, and it's really easy to practice this at home. Andira Putri, Andipta Adiwiguna, and also Gaga reporting for See Today.
Very cute.
It's really cute.
I mean, Andira.
She's brave enough to hold the chicken
She's good
closely,
with chicken.
right?
Yeah. I just wanted to say, I have a childhood trauma with chicken. I actually had a chicken, what's
Oh,
that
no.
called? It's not biting.
Like the,
It's not a big.
Yeah.
It's not a big.
Yeah. Patak is the Indonesian word for it. Well, right here on my nose, and this I had like a red bruise for like 3 weeks.
wow, that's long.
Yeah, that's long. Now, we want to talk about animals too. The Nashville Zoo is roaring with excitement after the historic birth of 3 Sumatran tiger cubs. 2 female cubs and a male cub were born on last October 20th. This might be a record. 3 at once, and female and male. Let's take a look.
Wow.
The zoo says that its Sumatran tiger has never been given birth before. So Anne, the mother of 3 Sumatran tigers, traveled from the San Diego Zoo to the Nashville Zoo in December when she was 9 years old. Because of habitat loss and poaching, the International Union for Conservation of Nature, or IUCN, has classified the Sumatran tigers as endangered, with fewer than 600 remaining in the world.
Following a health checkup by veterinary staff, the cubs are now snuggling with their mother in a private den. The zoo provides careful monitoring and support while Anne diligently cares for her cubs. Every Thursday, veterinarians from the Nashville Zoo would perform routine examinations on the 3 tiger cubs. The cub's father, Felix, is separated from Anne at the zoo.
So it's Sumatran tiger.
Tiny
Maybe it
tiger.
should call Anne, not
Like
Anne.
a Simba, yeah.
Anne
Anne is like Indonesian name, right?
Indonesian name.
Indonesian way of pronouncing Anne. Anne. Of course, you have more stories though.
Yes, from tiger now we're going to tell a story about still tiger, but Sumatran tiger. It's a female Sumatran tiger named Tila that gave birth to a female cub at a very high risk of extinction at the Rome Zoo, Italy on December the 1st.
Ooh, I remember this.
Well, a recent video released by the zoo, Bio Parkuromas, Instagram yesterday showed the cubs first checked by veterinarian and was in good health.
According to the zoo's Instagram account at Bio Parkoroma, the cub underwent its first checkup by the vet. The cub showed healthy signs and weighed 4 kilograms. The zoo has been gathering votes for the cub's name. I thought the cub was already named. Because they already released the name, if I'm not mistaken.
And the mother was born at 2011 at Chester Zoo, England, and comes from the Heidelberg Zoo in Germany. Meanwhile, the father named Terima Kasih was born in 2014 at the Beauvais Zoo in France. And so, what name do you suggest for?
Hang on. I think the cub's name was Terima Kasih.
Terima Kasih.
The cub's name is Terima Kasih.
Yeah. In the studio,
Oh.
it's the cub's name that's Terima Kasih. I will remember this because I reposted it from various
Oh, you followed the story.
I did. I forgot the father's name, but the cub's name is Terima Kasih. Not Terima Kasih. So it's basically a spin-off of Terima Kasih, which is thank you, because they were so thankful for this one cub to be born and to be healthy and to be thriving. I mean, yeah.
Okay, next we have an adorable baby rhino that was born at the Waikamas National Park in Lampung.
Oh, how cute! Oh, such a cute baby. So this is the Sumatran rhino calf who's born to a 23-year-old mother named Ratu, or Queen in English, on September the 9th last year. The good news was announced by Environment and Forestry Minister Siti Nurbaya Bakar at Indonesia's Conservation World.
Previously, the calf with the Latin name Dicerorhinus sumatrensis first mated with a 22-year-old male rhino named Andalas and gave birth to 2 female calves, Andatu in 2012 and Delilah in 2016. I actually went to Waikambas and met these rhinos. Yeah, there are actually 8 rhinos left because the rest of them are endangered.
Yeah.
So the Andatu, when he was born, everybody was so grateful for his presence.
Yeah, and then
You know, you are really lucky because it's really hard to see the rhino,
Real rhino.
in the wild. You know?
Yeah.
It's really hard.
I still have the photos.
We have to put the camera and leave it for several days, and then we.
I get a chance to fit them.
Yeah.
so
they're
cool. You went there when Andatu was born or before?
After Andatu was born. So I went there with Disney Conservation Fund.
Oh,
it was
nice.
really memorable in 2016.
Wow. So there's Andatu, and who knew that after that the rhinos give birth to Delilah and now to another one.
Yeah.
Amazing. So hopefully with the efforts of conservation, we actually really get to conserve and keep the biodiversity of Indonesian endemic species alive.
Yes, indeed. And still talking about animals, what's your favorite animal, guys?
Oh my God, cats.
I think I can guess yours.
I love cats.
Nah, right?
Kitties, small kitties. I love cats.
Can you guess mine? Nope.
Can you give us a clue?
A bear.
It's always in the bathroom.
In the bathroom?
Always in the bathroom?
No, it's in kids' bathroom.
Oh, duck?
Yeah, that's right.
Really?
Duck.
Oh.
Really duck. Because it is my first song of that my daughters really like. You know the song Bebek Bebekku. You know that song? It's a kid song.
A childhood song.
Yeah.
She really likes it
Very
because I really like
You
duck.
sing it to your daughter as well?
Yeah.
Oh,
she really
that's
likes
very
it, because
cute.
You must really like Donald Duck, didn't you, growing up?
Yes, of course.
Unlike you, Kai, I have been patok by a duck. Not bite, but
I was
on my leg.
by a duck. I was chased by a duck and an ostrich.
Yeah.
I have so many funny animal stories. If you ever have a show or need funny animal stories, I have plenty. No, but speaking of plenty moments, animals do offer plenty of funny moments, right? Karina included, that are often captured by people. The following are just some of the wacky moments.
Biarkan orang tertawa mencaci. Juga menghina, ku akan terbang di awan menggapai bintang. Aku milikmu malam ini dan memelukmu sampai pagi.
Kung KitKat. KitKat ko. KitKat iso. Welkom weer.
Everybody thinks you and Humpty are the same type of cow. This is Emmanuel, do not do it. Emmanuel, don't do it. Emmanuel, don't do it. I'm trying to educate people right now, okay?
Now, would you share food or not?
Oh, of course. I would always share. I thought those birds not wanting to share was very cute.
All right. Yes, okay, City Stores will continue after the break, guys. We still have another news from entertainment world, so stay with us, don't go anywhere.
A group of volunteers operating in the south of the city has united to assist displaced children in a refugee camp in Rafah in overcoming the trauma of war. The volunteers come from diverse professional backgrounds and share expertise in working with young people.
Asian flavors is gaining more popularity around the world in the last decade. Personally love this, not just because it is familiar for our palate, but because the airiness, the textures of the youtiao, it's completely different when baguette. So with those appetites and with those pleasure-driven people, Menteng is a very special place for restaurant.
Hey there, buddies! Welcome back to another episode of Buddy Talk.
Enggak, dia hostnya, kita co-hostnya.
It's better to be overdressed than underdressed. That's actually a good hack, because I used to live in Canada. That was our trick. Point to Manado on this map. I'm horrible. I told you I'm bad.
Dikira dengan banyaknya informasi itu kan jadi makin gampang gitu nulisnya.
Iya.
Tapi ternyata susah
Is
banget.
it about you that makes me indulge in the company of your own kind?
Berangkat aja dulu, kerjakan apa yang ada di depan kalian. Setidaknya kalian hari ini walaupun tidak mendapatkan uang, tapi kalian mendapatkan kesempatan.
Walaupun di awal-awal itu banyak sekali rintangan dan tantangan.
Kalian berproses aja dulu, jalan aja dulu. Kalau udah waktunya kalian untuk dapetin uang akan datang nyamperin kalian. Hal yang paling sangat utama untuk mengawali bisnis, ridho dan restu orang tua. Itu hal dan modal paling besar dalam mengawali usaha.
I love this atmosphere. Woo! Heading to Gili Trawangan. And this is the travel note because life is dope.
Hello, welcome back to the Trevor News Show. Now it's time for See the Game. Roll bumper. Okay, are you guys ready? I will be the lead for this game.
Yes, I captain.
For today's game is called Guess the Name. So the big screen will show the animal character in movies and also cartoon, and you need to.
Our kind of yay! This is going to be
don't
so
forget to ring the bell.
Okay.
Maybe you want to test
the bell.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Good.
Works fine.
And the winner, of course, will receive a gift, an Indonesian snack, courtesy to our CJ.
Yummy.
Huh?
So is CJ going to show us the
No.
prize?
It will be
later?
come after
okay.
the game. So,
Okay.
are you ready?
Okay. Yes, I'm
Okay.
ready.
So this will be the first one.
Okay.
It will shown here.
Okay.
Oh. Guess the animal.
It's a whale.
Okay, that's right.
I think
Is it a whale?
It's in a SpongeBob, right?
It's in SpongeBob. I don't know the name.
Yeah. I think it's Mrs. What?
It's not Mrs. Puff.
Yeah, Mrs. Puff, I think.
No, it's not Mrs. Puff. Mrs.
No.
Puff is yellow. Are we supposed to guess the name or the character or
name.
the animal?
The name.
Oh, the name.
Oh, the name of this character.
Yeah.
Oh.
Phoebe?
No, the animal name. It's
Yeah,
a
it's a
whale.
whale.
P is the beginning.
It's a whale.
Yeah, it's the name. The animal name in the cartoon.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the
Yeah, the
name,
character
The name of the character.
The character name.
Oh,
I don't know.
the character. I don't know this.
I remember Mr. Crab, Mrs. Puff, but I don't
Is
remember.
it
Yeah.
Piper? Is it?
It starts from P.
I know. Is it Phoebe? Is it Piper?
Nope.
Is
Can you
it
guess?
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Patty?
No.
What is it?
Maybe we can show the answer.
Yeah, show.
Pearl.
Oh.
It's from SpongeBob.
I know that's SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Pearl.
It's
Pearl.
I should watch more SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Next
forgot about
character.
her.
This is old movies.
I know the movie. It's Aristocats.
Yes, Aristocats.
Yeah, that's right. It's
I
old.
forget the character.
I know my
again.
cousin loves this character, but I forgot. Amanda, you should call me as a WhatsApp me right now. If you're watching this, give me a cheat sheet.
Yeah. I passed with this one.
I know it's Aristocats,
Yeah.
but I forgot the name of this character.
Yeah. Go ahead, Aris.
Okay, let's show the answer. It's called
it's Marie.
Yeah.
Aristocrats. Yeah, you got the movie
I know,
right.
it's Aristocats.
Marie.
It's Aristocats, not
So
Aristocrats.
0-0 for both
Okay.
of you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Half
next.
This is quite.
Oh, yeah, half.
Aris, give us the easier ones.
Okay, maybe next.
Okay.
Nah.
Oh, this is
Who doesn't know
this
this
is
dog?
Shinchan's dog.
Yeah.
But
I don't
The name.
even know the dog's name.
It's really easy.
I don't watch Shinchan.
It's Japanese for white.
Hey, it's beginning with H, right?
Nope. It starts from that letter.
S.
Nah, yeah.
Shima?
Nope.
Shiro?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's not Himawari, it's yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
Shiro?
Shiro, yeah.
White is Shiro. Okay,
Yeah.
Shiro.
Yeah,
Shiro,
yeah,
Shiro.
it's Shiro.
Yeah.
It's
that's
Shiro.
right. It's
Yeah, it's
Shiro.
Shiro.
Because like, so difficult.
Okay.
I remember Himawari, right?
Okay.
One from
Himawari is
Korkai.
Shinchan's
It's
younger brother, right?
younger sister.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
wait.
sister, yeah.
I wait until the Sailor Moon kitties come out.
Yeah.
Okay, next. Who doesn't know this
It's
rabbit?
from Zootopia.
Yes, from
But I
Zootopia.
forgot.
It's
I forgot
rabbit.
the name again.
She's a cadet in the police academy.
She's
in
a
Zootopia.
rabbit. She's a
Can you
rabbit.
give us more clue?
She's a rabbit.
She's a rabbit. Yeah, the clue is she's a rabbit.
She's a rabbit.
She's love to jump.
I pass.
Hoppy.
I don't remember the name.
Yeah, that's
Hoppa.
that last name. No.
The beginning of the name?
It's kind of a Beatles song.
The Beatles song.
Beatles song.
Yeah. You pass.
Pass.
Okay.
Jude? No.
Let's see the answer.
Judy! I almost
Jude
got it.
and Hop.
Oh, no.
I remember the song. I'm so
Hey,
bad at
Jude.
remembering animal names.
Yeah.
We're so good at remembering human characters.
Yeah, human characters.
You're racist.
So far,
Yeah.
only Kai that gets
Yeah.
the point.
Yeah,
okay.
it's actually harder than I imagined.
Okay.
It's not like the most popular characters.
Ah.
It's Piglet.
Okay.
One
Okay.
for Maria. That's right.
Okay.
Piglet.
Piglet.
Winnie the Pooh.
One for Kai, one for Maria.
Okay.
Okay,
There's,
next.
more.
Next animal. The name.
Squid. No, that's squid.
Squid.
No.
Who
Squid.
doesn't know this? It's a snail.
Yeah, I know, but the name.
Meow.
Nah.
Is it Tom? Is it Jerry or Tom?
Jerry. Not Jerry.
Beginning of the name.
G.
G.
George?
No.
It's so far.
Greg. No. It's G, right?
It's G.
Gary.
Yeah.
Oh yeah! Oh my God! How did I forget Gary?
I keep remembering SpongeBob. Like Gary is
Yeah,
like
Gary,
this,
yeah,
and this,
yeah,
and this. Okay, Gary.
Okay.
Hard.
Two
You're
for
good at
Kai,
this, guy.
one
No,
for
I'm
Maria.
not. You remember the main characters, but
Yeah.
they're the best
Okay.
sidekicks.
Yeah.
Okay, we still have one. This.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, who doesn't know this dog?
It's in the Tom and Jerry, right?
Yeah.
I remember the Tom and Jerry and then.
Spike.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she won. She won.
Okay, so we
I
have
watched Tom and Jerry when I was little. Spike the dog from
Oh
Tom
my
and
God,
Jerry.
I forgot Spike Bulldog.
Maybe si Jack will deliver something for us.
It's
Okay, si Jack, please come in.
It's actually hard to remember the supporting characters, right?
Yeah.
The main characters are much easier.
Yeah, especially if they're human. Ooh, Indonesians.
Wow. It's lidah kucing, right?
Yeah.
And you know what? Kuping gajah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Elephant's ear, and then
Indonesian snacks with animal names.
yeah,
Thank you very much, si Jack.
cat's tongue.
Cat's tongue
You see, it's cat's tongue.
and elephant ears.
Elephant ears.
Thank you, CJ.
And,
5 stars.
Cat's tongue.
And elephant ears.
Okay.
They do
You
look
want
like-
some cat's tongue?
Okay.
Yeah, it's very sweet. I like it.
I don't like sweet.
Thank you.
So this is called the elephant ear
Where?
because the shape of the snack is wide. It's thin. Looks like an elephant ear. It's gonna, yeah.
Feels like lebaran.
And yeah.
This is my favorite. Lebaran snack, you know.
Lebaran. Yeah. So this is called the cat tongue because it's shaped like a cat tongue. I just wanted to show.
Maybe my
Flat,
daughter
wide,
will like.
and it has texture. Have you ever, has the cat ever licked your arm or finger
Yeah.
or something? Yeah, right? It feels very texture, right? Like it's like a little brush.
I really like it.
Yeah, it's like a little brush.
Okay. So,
Okay, we will enjoy this.
so we're going to continue enjoying the snacks. Thank you so much for the snacks. So we'll be right back with you with a daily dose of entertainment on our last segment, Snack Time.
The beauty and the excitement of being there, indescribable to lose such an iconic, historical, and magnificent.
Let's take a look around, shall we?
Come on in.
We found them.
Where people come and go. A cup of tea, a perfect way to end your day. Come see the beauty, only on See Indonesia.
I love this atmosphere. Woo! Heading to Gili Trawangan. And this is the travel note because life is dope.
Welcome back to the signature segment, 3 hour news show. It's the City Stories, and it's the last segment of the show. We're going to talk about entertainment. So the 75th Primetime Emmy Awards took place in Los Angeles on Monday night and honored the best in television. Anthony Anderson hosted the ceremony for the first time.
The section The Bear and Beef brought home some of the awards.
The show The Bear nearly swept all the trophies in the comedy category, winning 6 awards, including Outstanding Lead Actor, Supporting Actress, Outstanding Directing, and Writing. Following closely was Succession, that secured 6 trophies, including Outstanding Drama Series.
And Beef triumphed with 5 trophies in the Limited or Anthology Series category. Steven Yeun and Ali Wong made history as the first Asian Americans to win in their respective categories, with Yeun securing the Best Actor in a Limited Series award and Ali Wong taking home the Best Actress accolade.
The Emmy Awards for the 2023 were ultimately held in 2024 following a 4-year delay due to the repercussions of the Hollywood Writers and Actors strike. The Emmy Awards took place after both the Golden Globes and Critics' Choice Awards were held in succession.
Wow.
Wow, congrats for them.
Congrats to all. And Elizabeth Debicki also won for Supporting Actress in a Drama. She was the one who portrayed Lady Diana in The Crown. You watched
The Crown series Netflix, right?
Yeah. So the last season is out. It's a must-watch. It's a guilty pleasure indeed.
Yeah.
Now we move on to some homegrown news. Now I'm a huge fan of hers, especially since I watched her very old movie, Cut Nyak Dim. It was a very long movie, but she was amazing. Indonesian seasoned actress Christine Hakim has made it into the list of 50 over 50 Forbes Asia 2024. People on the list are said to be influential in either entertainment, fashion, business, and medicine, and interestingly, all at the age of over 53.
Forbes said that several movies such as Eat, Pray, Love, Perempuan Tanah Jahanam, and The Last of Us series has elevated Hakim to the global stage. She was also a judge at the Cannes Film Festival and was an ambassador for the Festival of Film Indonesia in 2023. Christine Hakim was also a UNESCO ambassador from 2008 to 2020. I'm sorry.
Such a big fan of hers.
I really like how she
she's always
when she in the Last of Us.
Yeah.
Because it's when the first time I did not expect that will be her in it, and then when I see
There was no publicity.
Yeah.
It was
because
a
of
pleasant surprise.
that there's no publicity in it.
Yeah.
I know this face, this Indonesian actress.
Yeah. Well, we know her straight away. And that does it for today's episode of the 3 Hour News Show on See Today. We'd like to say thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to also stay connected with us. Follow us on our social medias through Instagram, X, and YouTube. Our handles at See Today News.
See Today can now be enjoyed in Australia on Foxtel's OTT platform Flash app or in Macau Cable TV channel 84. Or if you're in the Philippines, you can also watch the Converge Vision channel 58 and Singtel Singapore channel 15.
And of course, for Telkomsel users, you can also watch the See Today on the Maxstream app. Don't forget to also tune in again tomorrow, same time, same channel, and be sure to also catch our morning show every day at 6 a.m. I'm Ara Satya.
I'm Maria Harfanti.
I'm Karina Surya. Well, Kai Surya would like to say, see Indonesia, see the world,
See you today. Bye-bye.
Hey buddies, welcome back to another episode of Buddy Talk with me, Paul Palelli, here on See Today. And as you can see, I'm not at home. We decided to make a little bit of a road trip. We're outside of Jakarta near Bogor. In fact, as you can see, we have now arrived at the School of Government and Public Policy. And today, we're going to try to catch up with one of its founders, Pak Gita Wirjawan. Very interesting person. He is a banking investor. He is a former minister, the Minister of Trade. He's been a politician. And he's dabbled in music as well. So it's going to be very interesting to find out his thoughts on the latest. So without any further ado, guys, class is about to be in session. Let's try and catch up with Pak Gita. All right, I'm now with Pak Gita Wirjawan. Pak Gita, thank you for your time with us here today. Welcome to Buddy Talk. Finally get to meet you in person. We did connect once online before last year. You have an extensive background. You're not only a banking investor, you've been a former minister, politician, YouTuber. I want to ask a little bit about that last one, actually. What kind of steered you in that direction in particular when you started your YouTube channel?
It started out a little over 2 years ago as an idea experiment.
Okay.
Involving guys at the school where I spent a lot of time at, policy school, and the guys at Vicinema. And I told the guys, look, let's come up with something that's educational, different from, many others. I don't care if it gets viewed by 2 people, but I want to